allow the children
it's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, my ego don't come, my people make we shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses, my ego don't come, politico, this one not the off in mind. And in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over Naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. Politico, my ego don't come. This one not the off in mind. My ego don't come. Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, my ego don't come, my people make you shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses, my ego don't come, my ego diary politico, my ego don't come. This man not the off in mind. Aha.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo dodododo.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun ti de o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
I missed you too, and I'm glad to be back, right? As you are joining me, share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Just tell them, Mayegun today. The costs of a Niger Republic crisis are already being felt by the active players in this, not just Niger Republic. Share the broadcast. Please read the caption of the broadcast, yeah? Read the description as well. There is more to talk about tonight. We're just going to start from Niger. When we start, share the broadcast, like the broadcast. You can also subscribe if you haven't already, because...
And yes, we like oh, Baba, and yes, we like DJ Badi, and yes, we like
what Kolu and ECOWAS couldn't do. A new rebel group, just like we predicted just 2 days ago, and it's coming so soon, by the way. A new rebel group is now ready to challenge the coupists in Niger, reinstate the removed president, and return them back to France. Here. Motideo. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live, and you are welcome to the Temple of Truth tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be the update or follow-up on the last time we met, and we are starting from Niger Republic. I told you a few days ago that, the storm hasn't really arrived. In fact, the storm was gathering. The fact that somehow, Tinubu, without any international or diplomatic experience, or nobody in his team, decided to be the Shinorambo for the rest of enslaved West African states to challenge the coupists in Niger, making it look like it is the fight for democracy. Of course, it is not about democracy. You know that. There are many revelations coming out almost every day. And to make it more kind of serious, there are new revelations that shows that whether Nigeria attack Niger, ECOWAS, or anybody, the West, America, and France, especially the European Union, they will have no other option than to get rid of the guys in the army. Now, let me give you a quick background somehow, right? To make you understand the complexity of what is really going on in Niger and how soon the escalation of it is going to spread across the region as all parties are currently dagger down, like we are ready for, right? You remember that we were talking about the Nord Stream, pipeline. That was the pipeline that carries gas, like the normal fuel, from Russia to Europe. Also, America depends 50% of America uranium, which they use for their nuclear power plants and all that in America, comes from Russia. So when this wahala in Ukraine started, as a background, okay, when the wahala in Ukraine started, America and EU and the rest of them, you remember they sanctioned Russia. So many things. Russia money, Russia oil, Russia this, Russia that. They sanctioned almost everything except the uranium. In case if you didn't pay attention, they did not sanction that. But in fighting back, Russia also cut down the access to uranium by the United States, almost to probably nothing now. So where else? Mind you, Europe also depends on Russia oil. At least more than 50% of our energy in Europe comes from Russia. That Nord Stream pipeline. So when the war in Ukraine got escalated and they bombed the Nord Stream, that cut off the kind of oil or fuel supply to Europe, energy. Meanwhile, as Nord Stream got bombed, the American and European companies, oil companies, they they quickly fast forward the construction of their expected pipeline from Nigeria going through Niger and then to Morocco and then to Italy and back to Europe. So Europe is kind of depending on that pipeline. It is like, and America depends also on this uranium. Now, these guys are pledging their allegiance to the same Russia, which means there is going to be an interruption about the pipeline. And that is like a call for war. Now, these two blocks, the West, they won't have any of that. So, in the course of this coup, they sent Newman, or what's that guy, that woman's name? The Deputy Secretary of State, America. They sent her to Niamey to go and meet the coupists that they are going to allow the coupists to continue. But they want them to keep all other treaties and agreements, which keeps them in their region. They want them to keep them in place. France will remain and Americans will remain. Because between the time the Russia-Ukraine started to now, America and EU, from what we heard, they have invested over 16 billion US dollars. And they had a plan of investing even more, like double of that, to complete this project. And Niger is about to terminate that. So if you want to keep power, keep it. But don't tamper with all this arrangement. And the guy said, well, they did meet the Deputy Secretary of State. They did not meet her. She was in Niamey for almost 2 days. And you know, people who know her very well, they were like, the offer she brought, you better take it. If you don't take her offer, Niger, whether the rest of Africa wants it or not, Niger is going to be invaded. Anyhow, anytime. Whether it's going to be a rebel this, whether it's going to be another counter coup, whatever it's going to be. Once Newman, that woman comes to your country, you need to take the offer. So they didn't see her, which means they rejected the offer. And just 24 hours after they said that she left Niamey, another rebel group, in fact, you know, the rebel groups like Asari, the Fulani terrorists, all those ones, the Boko Haram kind of rebels that have been operating in the Sahel, they have the origin of the Tuareg. If you are talking about the Tuareg, in that axis of the Sahel, they are the deadly terrorist group. But they call themselves rebels, fighting for God knows what. And talk about the people I mean, this was supposed to actually be the people that France and America, based in those regions, were trying to make sure that they control, okay, or contain, so that they will not have the audacity to either attack any American, European, you know what I mean, like index or plan any attack on American soil. So that's why they build all their bases. That's why they said they are building their bases, so that everywhere they can be in charge before people come in to attack America. So these two other guys, one of them just came out. They call him Boula. And you know, Ebola is kind of a popular word right now in Niger because of Tinubu Abi. So this guy just came out and said, listen, we reject this coup. The first internal disagreement since this coup started and successful. It didn't stop there. He said, we reject this. And me and my people, we are going to stage a counter coup. Like he made it public. We're going to stage a counter coup. We're going to remove these guys. And we are going to return Bazoum back to power. And everything is going to be fine. What does that tell you? It tells you that finally they have found a way in. Of course, it's going to be like a civil war. Okay, they will supply these guys, and then the fight will rage on and rage on and rage on. Then that will open the door for humanitarian support, peacekeeping mission, America, France, Nigeria, everybody will now go in to save the civilians. Do you understand that? That is the next stage. And it is going to happen any moment from now. Now, you see, these guys are from the northern part of Niger. And according to them, rather than for these coup guys, this junta to continue, they would rather divide the Niger Republic into two. In fact, they don't want to divide it into two. They are going to take over Niamey. So what that primarily means is that the northern part of Niger Republic has been somehow the key entrance into Niger of what you can call the looming civil war. I'll give you a bit of a background of how this played out in Sudan. Somebody actually published it, so timeline of, Sudan is at war right now. I mean, you can say it's civil war, Abi. And it all started from the removal of Omar al-Bashir, okay, after the revolution. Now, after that revolution, the military, the ones who were like repentant terrorists, okay, and the normal military of Sudan. So you remember the Janjaweed, right? The Janjaweed, who are like usual rebel, like this Tuareg, they found favor in the palace of Omar al-Bashir, the former president of Sudan. Remember? So when the revolution happened, al-Bashir was removed. These two guys, one of them who happened to be the kind of the friends to Americans, the Janjaweed, what have you, I think those ones are the friends of the Americans. The other guy is like the friends to Russia. So they kind of found America. Let me show you that. When the old revolution started, Marshall, on your screen. Right? So they said that when America got in, okay, it's called the Sudan Cliff Notes. How Sudan descended into the chaos you are seeing today. And it seems that a lot of the people currently don't even have a clue what's going on anymore in Sudan. Probably Sudan is more like a lawless place like Libya, Abi. Right. So this timeline, they said in August last year. So U.S. ambassador appointed to Sudan, right? After 25 years. Again, in September, the U.S. ambassador warned Sudan against finalizing Russia naval-based deal. Then in 2022 in November, Blinken, which is Joe Biden's, Secretary of State, urges Sudan to consider U.S. support for the rapid formation of a civilian-led transitional government. In December, UN brokered framework agreement between Sudan's military leaders and leading pro-democracy parties, or Democratic Party, whatever, pro-democracy parties. Anyway, Blinken threatened in that same December travel ban for Sudanese who endanger framework agreement deal. This was American deal for Sudan, right? In February this year, Sudan confirms their deal with Russia, which, you see, then in that same February, Biden sent $288 million in humanitarian aid to Sudan. Like, okay, take this money, right? Now, in March, Nuland, that's her name, Victoria Nuland, visits Sudan to discuss democracy. In April, conflict escalates between Sudanese armed forces under General Boran and paramilitary group RSF under Dagalo. So in April, that same April, a US evacuates Sudan. The job was done. Here you get. So whatever goes on in Sudan afterward is Sudanese business. So that's the woman that visited Niamey. And she made them a deal. The guys didn't meet her. They refused to see her, which means they rejected the deal. Now, a rebel group, who called themselves, I go look for that name, something like, I think RCC or something. One moment. Yeah, a rebel who called themselves the people to rescue. I mean, they call themselves CRR, rather, not RCC. CRR, which loosely translated as Council of Resistance for the Republic. So they are going to be the Council for Resistance, Council of Resistance for the Republic, CRR. So guess, and this is coming from an ex-rebel leader, like somebody who has been a rebel, like Asari, and they are like, Asari, okay, you are forgiven. You know, when they talk about Asari, they say Asari is ex-rebel leader. Tompolo, ex-militant. Asari, ex-militant leader. Abi? Something like that, Abi? So that's the guy, and he was like, you know what? We are going to take them on. But Nigeria on the side, after having their tail hidden between their legs, Kolu and his board of clowns from ECOWAS, they decided that they are going to place more sanction on them. Sure, you get more sanction on Niger Republic and more sanction on the junta and their family members. Also, Central Bank of Nigeria will also confiscate properties of anybody that is known to be supporting the Niger Republic junta in Nigeria. What does that tell you? It tells you that when they shut down Tinubu by the Senate, it was the northern senators, okay? They were the ones who kind of said, no, there's not going to be any war. There shouldn't be any war. So they shut him down. So in his own response right now, since they can't legally go on and attack a Niger, so Kolu is now, like he said, they have now authorized the Central Bank of Nigeria to confiscate the properties and money of anybody known to be supporting the junta in Nigeria. So which means some businesses and some people are going to be, or maybe Bokuwari is going to be, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, your money and your properties in Nigeria can be confiscated if you should be found to be supporting the coupists in Niger. So, but there is also some, what do you call it? The blowback effects too. In Niger, right? They have declared their airspace closed, which means no aircraft, commercial, is allowed to pass through the airspace of Niger. If you pass through, anything can happen. Not that Niger has the weapon to shoot down anybody in the sky. According to their military, they don't have such kind of weapons. But you just never can tell. They are exercising that legitimacy, the sovereignty that they have as a country by saying you shouldn't fly over our country. Now, not flying over their country, like, you know, let's even like slow it down a bit before we get to that. The economic destruction that Kolu has brought upon Nigeria, like that of Bokuwari, is more or less like the continuation of the economic ruin, policies that continue to kill businesses, right? In Nigeria, the continuation of that is what Tinubu represents, no doubt. In the last 2 months, Nigerian businesses have seen shege. I'm talking about the real shege, including those international airlines who actually have destination Nigeria. Now, you know what has happened? The issue of this harmonized or not harmonized or unified or not unified exchange rates has made it even more difficult for some of these companies to recoup their profits or even their investment in Nigeria. The last 2 months has seen many of them lost billions and billions of dollars, not Naira. Trillions of your money, trillions of their money are blowing up like in smoke, like ashes. And they know that all of this are coming from the clueless, incompetent Tinubu. I'm still coming back to that competency, because apart from the fact that they are like crooked criminals, they also are incompetent criminals too. We'll come back to that. So the blowback of this is that the aviation fuel, what do you call it? The exchange rate debacle, these businesses are bleeding in Nigeria. GlaxoSmithKline, that left Nigeria, announced that they are leaving Nigeria. They said, number one, the market is now saturated with some of the cheap products, which with the poverty level in Nigeria increasing, most of their products are being found in cheap form, right? And they could no longer maintain or sustain the quality anymore, and they cannot reduce the quality like others are doing. Now, Nigerians are being thrown into the market of a substandard healthcare. Access to substandard drugs has escalated than you have known it to, fake drug, they say, right? Well, this time around, you'll be so glad that you are able to even afford that fake drug as it is right now. So the originals are moving because their businesses are bleeding, while Tinubu and gang are sharing money. Now, all these are happening, right? And they may not have told you. Before now, to fly from Nigeria to Europe or to America, this as much as inflation has affected almost everything, including your feeding and all that, right? It has affected the fare too. Like I'm talking about 100% to 200% increase, 300% increase. I'm not joking. Now, this is about those who are like doing businesses with Nigeria, or Nigerians who are doing businesses outside Nigeria, and those who are actually like, you know what I mean? All these businesses today, they are packing up, and it's about to get worse. Yeah, it's about to get worse. Niger Republic are saying, don't fly over our country. Now, what does that mean in real context? Let me show you. Although you might say, this is a rich man problem, Baba, I never chopped since morning. I'm still coming back to yours. It is called blowback. Now, everybody go collect time. The fact that Nigeria that should have played a bigger role in defending Niger Republic's interest and possibly walk them through whatever bogus democracy they are talking about. I mean, by not ignoring the truth, they know, Nigeria know, Tinubu and gang knows that it is not about democracy. They don't give a damn about democracy. It is about their interest, which is in this manner, is a multi-billion dollars interest. Something that could, if it is not fought, they believe, is either they go back to Putin and say sorry, or Europe should wait for the upcoming poverty. Generation of poverty. I mean, poverty is what you call generational poverty that is going to hit Europe in the next decade or two if they don't put their foot down like they want to do right now in Niger. So Nigeria that should have played the big brother and say, you know what? Let's renegotiate all these things. There's no point in invading them. If there's any invasion on Niger, we will stand up and defend Niger. By saying that alone means that they can come around and say, okay, yeah, the interest of the Niger people. Maybe get a better, it's not about deal, economy, Abi. Get a better deal this time around where all their lifetime, all their resources and everything about Niger is currently banked in France. So Nigeria that is not doing that, is indeed, right? Apart from the fact that they don't give a damn about you, Nigerians who are living in Niger. I'm coming to that too. But what does this mean? For those of you who understand the no-fly zone, do not fly over our country. If you fly your passenger planes over our country, anything you see, make you take them. So what that simply means then is that for you to leave Nigeria for Europe, they would have to make a sort of a detour to fly another 1,000 miles to your journey, before they can then face wherever you are going to. Do you see how scanty that particular region has become? Now, the more things get tense in that region in the coming days, the more there's going to be more wide circle that is going to further say, don't fly over this place because there is war. When you have, you see Niger there, you see Chad, you see Sudan. Now, people don't fly over Sudan anymore anyway, right? Now, Niger will see Mali on the left, see Mauritania, go up a little bit, come down a little bit, you see Burkina Faso. That's how the circle will spread. They said Nigeria and all these airlines that they have already lost over 1.7 billion US dollars. Now, that may not mean anything to you, okay? Because you don't fly on planes, do you? What you don't know is that Nigeria is, apart from the fact that there's so much traffic over Nigeria for different reasons. Those who are japa and mostly those who are doing businesses that obviously shows that Nigeria is an import-dependent country, right? Now, what that means is you bear the cost. That's what I mean. Okay. So if they are adding extra, whether extra 1,000 kilometers or extra 1,000 miles to your flight, you will bear the cost. Now you have to add that to whatever it is right now. Everyone is paying. You are buying a ticket of 2,000, there's 700 pounds. London to Lagos to London, 2,700 pounds. The same thing that used to be around 1,000, 1,200, 800 pounds return. It has jumped now to 2,700, and it's going to continue. It's all these effects are going to be the blowback. Then to get to a stage, the airlines will be like start cutting down. Like it won't be profitable anymore. When you go to a place and you don't have that huge kind of patronage anymore, people are no longer like living anymore, or they are not returning because it is pointless. So you begin to cut down, then people will begin to lose their jobs. That's how it works. So they begin to lose their jobs. Some of the business will begin to close down. And the more this happens, the more most of you are push further, either outside Nigeria or push further into poverty. They haven't started yet. Now, just announcements Tinubu has been making. Now, all these announcements Tinubu has been making about Niger Republic, apart from the fact that they don't give a damn about you. The quality of this 1.7 billion is not lost on air flight. So I'm talking about some of those who are trading between Niger, those who are bringing the cows, livestock, grains, and other things that they are trading between the borders. They can no longer do that. Most of the transactions that were supposed to happen as a business, they've cut them off because Niger can no longer transact with other West African countries. Now, all of these are just the symptom of what is still to come when they go further with what they are. Then the part where Nigerians who are in Niger watching all of this and they didn't see anywhere that the Nigerian government is even mentioning them, talking about their evacuation, talking about what's going to be their fate, especially knowing that it seems that it is inevitable. They are going to stage either a counter coup in Niger that will lead to a civil war. They know it. And they know that Nigerians are in that place. And there is absolute nothing, no plan. When they cut electricity, they probably don't give a shit about those of you who are Nigerians in that place. There are Yorubas, there are Igbos, there are Hausas, there are Fulanis, there are many people from other parts of Nigeria who are residents of Niger Republic. Of course, you might say it's easier for them to you better start coming back. Remember what they did to Nigerians in Sudan. Nigerians was not involved in any kind of party of their war in Sudan, no. But when the situation got so bad, Nigerians became collateral damage. You know the whole story. Niger is not too far from Nigeria. The evacuation of Nigerians are not being discussed as we speak, but the inevitable attack of Niger is currently top-notch. But this mama, from that Niger, sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, when I come back, I will kind of try to explain what she's saying. She's pleading with Tinubu. Are you thinking about us at all? Do you even know that we have Nigerians here? Are you by any chance, what's the plan? What about our own livelihood here? Our family? You know what I mean? This woman.
Mo kí gbogbo wa o, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà láti ilé títí tó fi dókè òkun ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi tí ẹ ń wò mí. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà rere, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Odùduwà rere, ẹ bá wa jí bàbá Tinubu. Ẹ jí wọn ní ká gbé pílò kalẹ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ orun kọ́ ló kàn. Kán tún lè ṣe náà kán tó di pé wọ́n ó bọ́ síta wọn láwọn tó ta sí. Kí ló kàn wọ́n pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria ọmọ ìyá ọmọ bàbá ni wọ́n. Níjọ́ tí Nàìjíríà àti Niger bá láwọn ò ṣàṣepọ̀ mọ́ ogun ńláńlá ni. Nigeria ní fún Niger níná nítòótọ́ wọ́n rà ní. Láti bí ọjọ́ 4 lónìí kò síná ní Niger. Bàbá Tinubu ẹ ń wọnú ilé bàbá ọmọ olódòdè ẹ ń wo gbogbo Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n sọ́fà tẹ́bí ń pa wọ́n ẹ tọ́jú wọn ẹ wá tún nasẹ̀ wá bá wa nílùú òdì kejì tó ẹ mọ múra bí tẹ́ gbà wá sí o torí tẹ́ bá fi ṣe tán bá fi lé àwa àjèjì àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tá wà ní Níjẹ̀ tán bá fi lé wa kúrò kẹ́ ẹ mọ tọ́jú bí tẹ́ bá kó wa sí o tọrọjọ́ méje tẹ́ fún wọn tẹ́ ní kan fi dá oyè ibo náà ti ń ṣerú ẹ̀ kí ló kàn yín Fálànà gbọ́ tí ẹ torí ara ẹni là á gbọ́ bàbá ẹ̀ sì gbọ́ tilé náà kẹ́ tó mọ̀ gbọ́ títà ẹ mọ̀ kó títí yín bá wa ò jẹ́jẹ́ wa là wá jókòó ń bí báyìí ọmọ Yorùbá ni wá Níjẹ̀ là ń gbé ibẹ̀ la mọ̀ ibẹ̀ ni jíjẹ mímu wa ti ń jáde lọ́nà bòmí àmọ́ bá a bá wálé lónìí àlejò ni wá tá a bá wá sí Nàìjíríà lónìí tá a bá dé wọn mọ̀ páwọn àlejò dé ìlú títí wa ní bí báyìí Niger is our country. Don't spoil our country for us. Don't let them send us out of country. We are Nigerian. Ẹ má lé wa kúrò níbi tá wà, ẹ má lé wa kúrò nídìí ẹrù wa. Bàbá ẹ dìde lójú oorun. Ẹ tají o bàbá. Oorun tẹ́ ń sùn kò lè help. And it's better kẹ́ kọ́kọ́ yanjú ilé náà kẹ́ tó wá bá wa níbí báyìí. Ogun títí yín náà fi mú wa ń bí o. Ẹ má jẹ́ kan fogun yín, ẹ má jẹ́ kan fi mú wa o. Àrí iná wo kì í kú iná wo kú ní Níjẹ̀ rí láti jẹrin sí àní nánú òkú pirim láwà àní torchlight ilé àní látà ìbọn náà ti ń yọ̀yàn kúrò lórí oyè tán dá yàn padà síbẹ̀ ọ̀dọ̀ yín láti kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ o bàbá ẹ tají lójú oorun o ẹ tají o torí nǹkan tí ó tójú oorun yín tí ó ti ojú oorun yín bọ̀ kò ní rọ̀ o ẹ tají ẹ mọ̀ kó bá wa o.
Did you hear that? Okay. I'm glad that she added the English to it so that those of you who don't understand Yoruba could pick. All right. So she was begging Tinubu to deal with the problems in Nigeria first. That they, well, she's Yoruba and they are Yorubas who live in Niger. Niger is their own country. That's where they have all their livelihood. That every time they visit Nigeria, even the people in Nigeria always call them visitors, Alejo. Or the people from the Alejo, the visitors are back from Niger. So Tinubu should not let them turn on them. Or they should not let the Nigerians turn on them. Okay? And she was begging that he should kind of wake up from his slumber and, and leave them alone. Okay? And I hope it will leave you alone, even though it's probably too late. If I must be honest. So those of you who are in Niger Republic, I will say, Koloma Komashonyu. And if you find your way back home, it is the ideal thing to begin to think of, because with what we kind of have a clue of, once they throw Niger Republic into a civil war in the next week or two, it can last longer enough that that place may not be home for you anymore. Unfortunately, there is also no place, well, there's no place like home. When you go back to Nigeria, that's going to be a different ball game entirely. Okay. Now let's move forward a bit. They said, how poor do you think Nigerians are? I mean, if you don't want to get so carried away with all the social media frenzy and, everybody's okay. They said, if you go on the streets right now in Nigeria, especially if you are a trader, like people who deals in, essential commodities, right? That a lot of you today are currently facing a stark, shortage of patronage. That you're just there. And it's almost like begging people to just come and take them and pay you later if you can. You know what I mean? Now, this is the effects right there in the country. Economically, Nigeria has retrogressed very badly. And all this, you would ordinarily, I was having a chat with somebody, and I said, let's be honest, okay? There is no free food anywhere, not even in Freetown. There is no free money anywhere. You see all this money these guys are allocating to themselves, whether they are printing the money or they are borrowing the money on your behalf, right? That they are sharing to themselves. And the party remnants left are budgeted for infrastructure or something to help you with, only for them to even loot that again. I said, even if you have a greed, like something that has become like, a sickness. Let's assume that you have sick people, that their greed has brought this economic ruin on Nigeria, and they, at this point, they are still humans, Abi. Like 1, 2, or 3 of them should just feel like, you know what? Can we just cut the looting? Can we just cut the wastage? Can we block all the stealing for just 1 year and dedicate the resources towards this, and that? Just to take a break, 1 year break. What do I mean by that? They have destroyed Nigeria beyond what a lot of you can even define. You know what they told you, that government money is government money, is government money. They always, they will steal and steal. There's always going to be money. There's not going to be any money. And in fact, there is no money. Now, just before these criminals took the baton from Bokwari, Nigeria was already flat, like flat on her belly, economically. All the patching, all the this, they didn't really show anything to prevent you from seeing the obvious. A lot of you decided to get blinded by your tribal, religious, and every other bigotry that is in you. At the time, Nigeria was already belly down as of 2023. Okay? Nigeria was losing over 80% of our own revenue from different revenue sources to criminals. The remaining 20% is just for sharing sake, to the point that Nigeria was servicing debts with 98% of our revenue. And people were not asking, where are you seeing the money you are sharing then? If our revenue says 98% of them is for debt servicing, not even repayment of the debts, just servicing it. Nigeria, a whole Nigeria, 98% of Nigeria revenue is being used to service debt. As of 2023, it got so bad. The Central Bank of Nigeria, secretly, they were printing money for these criminals to share, like it's revenue. Okay? There was no production, no nothing. They were sharing the money. They were giving the money to themselves as allocations. Sure, you get? So they did all of this, and by the time they handed the baton to Kolu, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's debt was over 120 billion US dollars. And it has a lifetime of 100 years of repayment. Baba, they can't finish paying the Nigeria debt in my lifetime, not even in the lifetime of my own children. Can you believe that? That's the debt that Bokwari plunged Nigeria into. Well, he's not in jail. Some of the criminals who were with him, some of them are just enjoying whatever they have right now. The rest of you are facing the suffering. They are not telling you that. But instead of them to just tell themselves and say, listen, I think we should put a break on it for a year. Let's do the right thing for a year. Invest in infrastructure, invest in manufacturing, invest in industry, invest in this, invest in that. All this money, let's invest them for a whole year. No mago nonsense. Like minutes. But they said if you find yourself in a hole, the ideal thing is for you to stop digging, not for these criminals. They came in, Subsidy is gone. Just like that. Any plan? If you understand what you just said, do you have any plan? No, we have plan. We are strategizing on a plan. What plan? People are going to die of hunger. They're going to starve to death. I mean, people are going to die because they are hungry. Would you believe that? That people die because they are starving? I mean, Bokwari devalued Nigeria Naira so terribly that it has become almost a tissue paper. Then these guys, they say he's accountant with Mobile, accountant with Deloitte, accountant from Chicago. He gets sense, he gets brain, he go put together technocrats. Subsidy is gone. So what's the plan? What's your plan? We're going to give you 8,000 Naira every month. 12 million household. How did you come by that? How did you come by that 12 million household? Like, give us showed numbers. Nothing. And they say, okay. What we're going to do is that we're going to... And they started playing you. Only for you to be watching them on your TV, reading them in your papers, that they are sharing money to themselves. But they have no idea how they're going to actually cushion the effect of this. They have no idea where to even put the money. They have no idea what people actually need as essentials. They have no clue. Let's share the money. No, don't share the money. Oh, let us add 10,000 Naira to their salary. What about those without salary? Oh, okay. Let's share food. In a country of 200 million people, no plan, nothing. Trial and error. Let's try this one. Oh, okay, they misunderstood us. Let's try that one. They are using your life to play gamble, ludo. Eyije, eyioje. Oh yeah, try that one. 6-4. Oh yeah, try again. Oh ludo, 1-1. Deuce. You know what that stuff? Your life. Somebody sent me a video. And it's a video of a man of a young little boy who was teary, crying. His dad died. They live in Sabo, Yaba, Lagos. His dad was sick. God knows for how long. You know that time when you be so unwell and you become so poor in Lagos. Okay, let me just say you've seen people who used to be very fine and okay. Then suddenly the father fall sick, or it may be the mother. Then they start going to the hospital. Things started kind of affecting them. Maybe the father will lose his job. They are unable to pay rent anymore. The people in the community, the people in your area begin to see them and begin to say, oh my God, look at this, look at them. Then it got so bad that they will have to say, oh, why don't you just go back to your village? Number one, it's cheaper there. Number two, they can even take care of you very well. You know that stage when the people will now pack all the schooling of their children, all their childhood friends and everybody, you just have to leave them at that point because your father or your mother is very sick and they've got no money in Lagos and they have to return back to village and you all have to pack and return back to a life you never know. Remember that situation? Not Nollywood, real life. Somebody sent me a video and it was like this young boy whose dad died. I think it was at Ojota. He was very sick. They were taking him back to their town. I think the boy said they were taking him back to Ibadan or Osun or something like that. How long has he been sick? So the young boy watched his dad died while they were waiting for their car to leave the park. So they couldn't even leave the park alive. He died right there. And when I saw the video, I was like, look at it. There are so many Nigerians today that the 8 years of APC, Egbekegbe, changed and ruined your lives. And how? See, a lot of people became very poor, very, very poor because of their health. In Nigeria, that they talk about typhoid. They are talking about fever. They are talking about Okpayin, Okpawaju, Ale, Afato, Avaru, and the rest of them to make you feel like Okunrin Genge. Those are very minor. Are you with me? there are so many other things that Nigerians have now become the regular victim of: renal failure, kidney failure, heart disease, internal this, cancer, and so many other things that were never used to be the norm for those who are of the, you know what I mean, for those who came from that older generation. They will tell you it never used to be the norm. But as Nigerians have been exposed to more and more toxic environment, uncontrolled environment, uncontrolled substance, where Nigerians have to kind of start shuffling between feeding or clothing. Things have gone so bad that people just have to eat whatever they see. Today, a lot of these diseases have grown in Nigerians when they have no money to even maintain a regular medical checkup. That you can say prevention is better than cure. Won't you say that? And that's what we have in Nigeria today, that could automatically make you and turn your world upside down, that people begin to sell their properties to pay for medical bill. Now the economy is going so bad that a lot of them are going poorer and poorer and poorer. Ask them, what is taking your money? Medication. And they are also at the mercy of fake, adulterated medications. As the country go down the drain, as everything goes down the drain, it will become so poorer. You know, it will become something like when what you normally eat is not available, you begin to eat what is available. Do you know that? And this is killing people like regular, like on a steady. As you're watching this video, a lot of families have become poorer because of these medical challenges that they've come across. No help, no support within the system. Some of them are like supposed to be pensioners, enjoy some medical coverage. No, nothing. People are just existing for the existence sake. And Kolu came in. He made it worse. Policy, just policies. Policies that touches lives and changes and ruin life. Remember their round-tripping policy of Emefiole, the one that made it easier for a Malam, recharge card seller from Daura, to be in possession of millions of dollars, and he is willing to sell to that businessman, supposedly a billionaire businessman, running his business at the mercy of this middleman created by Emefiole. Remember how that actually destroyed so many businesses? You know how many people actually died, committed suicide, because they couldn't fulfill their credits with their suppliers. They couldn't, because the exchange rate has completely wiped them and cleaned them out. Yeah, and the bank wasn't going to help them either. A lot of them in shame killed themselves. Those who couldn't kill themselves left Nigeria with whatever was left, remnant of whatever is left of their business. Bukwari killed businesses with their policies. Same thing is happening right now. He's more interested in increasing taxes. Like, what? Which accountant is this guy? Agberu accountant. That doesn't understand that governments make more money when more people are working than taxing the few that are working with no benefit or anything, right? While you have multitude of jobless army of young people. Like, which accountant are these guys? He's putting together, they said he's putting together tax reform, presidential tax reform committee. So those ones, they will give them cash. Those ones, they will be paying them money, millions of naira, Abi. And those ones, they will give them offices. They will also have servants because they want to discuss on how to tax Nigerians who have no job, poor Nigerians. Like, where are these guys from? Okay. In one of those hardship that you currently have, I mean, they did the ministerial screening, concluded that just a few days ago, where they rejected Hell Rufai, the Kaduna Little Finger. Now, that is already kind of a storm in a teacup right now. We're going to get to that. But let's continue with this economy part. So somehow, they managed to drag Okonjo-Iweala back to Nigeria. But before we get to Okonjo Iweala, somebody has something to say. Tinubu's policies makes you poor. One defend their lórí social media. Shorty mon lepa on ton share tiku. Only mama, because I have seen it before. Their policy makes you poorer. You are looking for who to blame. The guys who can't even tell you what they are doing. You making things up in your head, right? But in reality, look around you. Their policies, Abi. When you finish watching this program tonight, go back home, call your family member, tell them to sit, all of them should sit in front of you, right? Stand in front of them, tell them to gaze at you, stare at you very well. What did they see? They'll tell you the truth. Meanwhile, listen to this.
What people don't understand, and I think the media should understand this, when government roll out certain programs and policies, you see, I read in the headlines, oh, federal government to... That is not the story. The story should have been federal government rolls out funds to further enslave Nigerians. When they see such, when I was editor of Insider, The Source, those are the kind of headlines that I can. You don't come, there's interpretative journalism. You are a Nigerian. Government says it's going to give 8,000 naira to family, 45,000 naira to about 5 people in 6 months. We only want people to trade that money, which a professor of law, Oshibanjo, was distributing, going to markets. What a shame. What a shame we have in this country, where a professor of law can be reduced by Buhari, who barely went to school, who struggled to look for a school certificate. He sent Oshibanjo on a white goose chase, going to markets and giving 2,000 to people, women selling tomato and pepper. And the rest of us, we are laughing. Today, the tiger that was destroyed yesterday, if you don't tame that tiger, the tiger will enter your bedroom. Who brought Buhari? It is Tinubu himself. Before our very eyes. And Tinubu told us that it is now his turn to preside over the affairs of Nigeria. We all saw that the man has a different approach. But what we have seen so far, he's really not more ruthless policies. More vicious and ruthless policies. This is not about wherever you come from in this country, whether you are a Yoruba man, an Igbo man, it's no longer about tribe or religion. It's about class interest. These individuals are protecting their own class. And they are determined to do it at the expense and at the blood of Nigerians. And that's why CLO is saying today that enough is enough. 8,000.
Thank you, CLO. Civil liberty organizations. Don't fight for anybody, Mr. CLO. When the gbedu enter body, enter body. When the gbedu enter body, darling, enter body. Now everybody could dance on. Mr. CLO, hold up. Because he actually made a statement that is very, very meaningful, and that is they are out to protect their class. Oh, Dele Farutimi. Dele Farutimi said, don't die in their war. That there is no Christian war, there is no Muslim war, there is no Yoruba war, there is no Igbo, Fulani, Hausa war. It is class war. Because when you look at this class of criminals, ladies and gentlemen, you will see Hausa there, you will see Fulani there, you will see Igbo there, you will see Yoruba there, Ijo de there, Efik de there, Nupe de there, Christian is there, Muslim is part of them, Babalawo, Mamalawo, Brodalawo, Nkulawo, Antilawo, and the rest of them are also part of them. There is no discrimination. Young, old, male, female. Go and see that class. Heartless bunch of people. They don't discriminate. I don't think they do. No, they don't. It's class war. My prayers go to all of you Nigerians. Take my prayer because it's honest. Akpabio after the job of screening the 48 Alibaba and his 48 thieves, Tinubu's thieves, what happened? They screened out 3 because they said Ribadu. You know Ribadu is the NSA, the one that is National Security Advisor to Kolu. On my life, this life funny, oh. Okay, no funny, oh. Or a funny, oh. It doesn't matter. It depends how it appears to you. It was this same Ribadu who was investigating Kolu and said the Kolu's type of corruption is multi-dimensional. It cut across borders, international. He was indirectly telling us then that Kolu was a drug dealer, but you didn't pay attention. Fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on which side of the coin you belong to. Ribadu became the presidential candidate of Tinubu's political party. That sealed it. But he didn't become president. Kolu became the INEC president, and Ribadu today is the best investigator that could screen those who shouldn't be ministers. Of course, rufai shouldn't be given any kind of access to any power. But why would you stop rufai where you had Werewike? Werewike is there. Matawale is there. Who else is there? Like, you have all this bunch of clowns that are being investigated by your same agencies, right? They are cleared. Why won't you clear the little finger of Kaduna? Something is missing. Of course, there are protests against him that don't clear him or don't clear him. But anyway, that is what I told you was brewing, right? On the side. I haven't got there. We'll still get there. But let's stay in that Senate. So they worked for 1 month. They got inaugurated in June. And they worked for 1 month. Sit for 1 month. And they gave themselves a recess. Now, remember, part of the work they did in the last 1 month was, 1, to pass what they call the palliative appropriation, whatever. 819 billion naira. That's what they did. Now, how did they share the money? I'll tell you. They said 500 billion was going to be given to you at 8,000 naira per person for 6 months. That was a fraud that they didn't think through. Anyway, so they've shelved that. But from their sharing, these guys took 70,000, for, they say, to resettle the new lawmakers, all the lawmakers who just came back. They need to settle down because their body they shake. So for their body to settle, 70 billion. Now, not just that, they also needed their cars. Majority of them are so poor that now they take for a car, so they needed to buy them cars, 40 billion. Because they won't give you 8,000 naira. These guys took 110 billion. When you divide that money, individually, House of Rep and the Senate, each person will take home at least 130 million naira. 130 million naira each. Just for body. You know that one where you go say, hello. I remember when this my guy will call me. Say, hello, Mayegun. I say, Balo, kilo happen. Say, Mayegun, man, this Nigeria, this Nigeria won't keep person. Now God go do amo. You be MVP, most valuable player. All of now we did there. You be champion. I respect you. You know easy. You know now. Anyway, Mayegun, I beg, have you see like £100 from you? Dear man, I just take and say front. Because this whole thing, this kind of cloudy. Say, where you dey? Say, Baba, I dey inside the house. Have you see like £100, Baba? Man, I just take and see front. Say, Baba, that's a very, very expensive site, you know. You don't need £100 to see front, too. That's a lot of money now, anyway. But that's my guy, Balo. Whenever Balo was kind of pulling my leg, say, give me this, we take and see front. Nigeria lawmakers, after hearing Kolu declare that subsidy was gone, and they've seen the effect of that announcement on the rest of Nigerians, they collected 130 million naira each just to see front. This is not their money. This is no order. I'll show you something. This is just like say, the whole thing no clear this money. They say, any fans me. I beg, give me, I need 1,000 pounds. Man, I just take and see front because you know too clear. I say, my you better open your eyes. If you know clear, come on your glasses. 1,000 to see front. If you want to go 1 mile, wait, how much it go cost? Anyway, take a look. So these guys, as at 2018 or thereabout 2019, these guys goes home every month with at least 30 million naira. This is the one that is kind of documented. Sure you get. You see, Baba, who does any legitimate work, hard work, in their life and get paid 30 million naira every month, and they still collect hardship allowance? Do you know how much they collect as hardship allowance for each senators? I'll tell you, don't worry. It's part of the 30 million. This was 2019. Oh, they have increased the salary by 114% now. It's no longer that price anymore. It don't go boy you. Sure you get like about 50 million now. It don't go boy. So hardship allowance in that money is 1.5 million naira. Lawmakers in Nigeria, they get paid hardship allowance. Things are hard. About things tough. About everything tough. Life hard. Guess how much they pay a soldier? Hardship allowance they pay to a soldier every month. Guess. Can you? No. Don't worry. Don't guess. It's ridiculous. 1,250 naira. That is the hardship allowance to a soldier. The one that is expected to put his life on the line. An average soldier in Nigeria get paid 65,000 naira. And when they really get paid, that they will say, oh, yeah, they say 150,000 naira. Now, 65,000 naira is pretty much like 60 pounds. That's how much a soldier earns. Now, if you put this in this Nigeria, naira versus pound sterling, this 50 million that this senator gets, that's pretty much like 50,000 pounds sterling every month. That's what an average senator earns in Nigeria. 50,000 pounds sterling, or 65 or 60,000 US dollars every month. And they still complain of hardship. They need cars. They need place to stay. They've got families. They've got fans, or they've got supporters. All these things are responsibilities. This comes from the government. So when you talk about cutting down cost in a country that is facing serious economic crisis, you want to rejuvenate that, then you cut cost, Abi? No, cut where the likes of Akpabio. Who doesn't know Akpabio in Akwa Ibom? I'll give you a background. Akpabio was governor of Akwa Ibom State for 8 years, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it was like that with a wiki. Okay, uncommon governor. You know why they call him uncommon governor? The guy will sit at executive meeting, executive council meeting of his own state, commissioners, PAs, all of them, and the guy will sit down and will be sharing money. I'm talking about real money. All of you today, you are going to go home with 10 million naira each. So that executive council meeting is to praise him. He was a cheerful giver. At the end of his term as governor, he was arrested by EFCC and he was charged for stealing 107 billion naira of Akwa Ibom state money. 107 billion. That's how much they said he stole. And that's probably how much they could trace. And you know what ridiculous things about Nigeria? One ridiculous thing about Nigeria is this. And the reason why people like me believe that Nigeria is actually a crime scene. Do you know that there's a guy called Boula? Well, he was the immediately removed or suspended EFCC chairman. The guy was everywhere. He was investigating this, investigating that. You know what I mean? Like, 007 or who's that guy again? Who's that popular guy that does better investigation in all these movies? Like, bang, bang. Yahoo Boys. Yahoo Boys in Kano. Photo, like, mug shots everywhere. This guy was chasing politicians too. And guess what? The guy is in, we don't know where he is right now. He's been under a lockdown or lockup since Kolu came in. That's been like over 2 months now, right? Nobody knows what they are doing to him or what's going to be his fate or what have you. They didn't charge him. He was arrested for being a fraudster too, a criminal. And those he was investigating then, they are now in government, like Akpabio. Some people are now saying that viral video. Did you see that viral video of Akpabio talking about money? Who is surprised? He ran away to APC, Egbekegbe, and he was made the NDDC, Niger Delta minister. Have you forgotten that? That Akpabio became the minister of Niger Delta. No? You remember? Oh, right. And under him, the same Niger Delta ministry, over 4 trillion naira was looted by this same Akpabio and these shareful beneficiaries. And then they started what they call the inquiry, investigation at the National Assembly. Come and tender evidence. Everything was obvious. There's a guy called Pandenya. No, I forgot his name. Pondei. His name is Pondei. He's a director in that NDDC or something. It was being probed. When things got so choking, the guy pretended to be having a stroke. That popular video, yeah. So who doesn't know Akpabio? And how many of you here watching me right now is surprised that Akpabio, as the Senate President of Nigeria, was caught on camera, live TV, saying that he has sent some token money into the bank account of the senators to go and enjoy their holiday when Nigerians are enjoying this shaggy bansa. I'm not surprised. Why should you be surprised? So why no one? So if they see all this guy with money, stolen money, you're gonna be like, this is embarrassing. This is a shame. Show wine, Wani. Hold it. I'll show you the clip. Akpabio and the other rogues, after the drama of confirmation or no confirmation, decided to send a token. And some Nigerians are reacting. They were okay.
Of the leader. And then, as soon as Senator Mai takes his oath of office, we shall rearrange the office of the leadership. In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I withdraw that statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes, to assist you to go on a safe journey and return. This Senate
ridiculous people, Abi. You are welcome to the party. You know, the shocker is that when you see characters like that, and then you at the same time, you know what they are capable of. And at the same time, you are now expecting them to do what is right. Like, where is that coming from? You get what I mean? Like, why would you believe that people who are molded and they were made that way will suddenly change and they'll start doing something right? Like, where is that coming from? From your prayer group, Abi? They told you at prayer group that prayer can change it. Oh my gosh. Maybe that is why they believe that Okojo Iweala can help them do some magic. The woman that once told you to remove subsidy, and they made the announcement for all of the palliatives that will come with it. Tinubu gathered you at Ojota and told you to reject it. The woman that they took to court because she won't let them share the excess crude account money. Remember that. They said, why would they be saving money when Nigeria needed money? Isale Eko Barack Obama or Ajangbadi Albert Einstein, Fashola, as well as Oshiomo of Edo. And some of the other guys too who took her to court that she must share that money. They actually shared some of it until the end of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's time. When she was gone, Bokwari came and he actually looted the entire money. Today, the excess crude account, which once had 18 billion US dollars as a balance, ladies and gentlemen, today currently have less than 50,000 US dollars. That's for a country, a whole country, Nigeria, excess crude account. Baba. Now they've brought her back. And she has also started speaking grammar. Even though she knows these are criminals, she will still represent the interest of our own constituency, the World Bank, IMF, all of these loan sharks, the ones that are helping the rogues in Africa and especially in Nigeria to economically shape to economically shape their policies in a way that Nigerians are going to be those who bear the brunt, not the joy. Anyway, she's back. She did her magic when she was allowed to. Well, why is she back? She was back sometimes during the Bokwari's time. How did that go? It only opened more doors for Bokwari to borrow money. And we know how that ended. That she's back in Nigeria today and they quickly put the camera on her to say something. She don't give you any false hope. Okay? But at least I'll let you listen first. Okonjo Iweala.
This is great.
How are you? Very good, sir. Very good to see you, sir.
I watched you on TV. That was an excellent performance.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's okay, sir. Okay, good.
Your Excellency. Great conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
We saw the president and focused on how do we support Nigerians at this time of need. We all know that things are very difficult for Nigerians outside. Everyone is struggling. I'm here myself on a quiet visit, so this was not really an official WTO mission, but we were able to engage with Mr. President to talk about what are the kinds of programs that could be put in place to make sure that the suffering of Nigerians are being alleviated. And we had a really good conversation on trying to look at community and grassroots programs that can be put in place to create jobs for young people, on trying to support women and children who are those who are bearing the brunt of some of the suffering in the country. We talked about how, for the longer term, we need to look at investment opportunities that Nigeria can seize, including in the pharmaceutical industry. We also talked about what type of support the WTO, the World Trade Organization, can bring. We are already working in Nigeria with women in particular who own small and medium enterprises to try to help them upgrade the quality of their products, whether it's in the agricultural area, in textiles, and in other areas, so that they can sell more internationally. We're trying to help them with digital trade. The wave of the future is digital trade. So how do we train, empower, and give Nigerian women and owners of small and medium enterprises support so they can trade more, create more jobs? That's what's needed now, helping Nigerians to alleviate the difficult conditions that they are in. So that is what we discussed with Mr. President. And as the Director General of the World Trade Organization, we are going to try to do the most we can to support Nigerians.
Madam Ngozi, if you go on Google, go and search for Buhari meets World Trade Organization, WTO, and Okonjo Iweala. They met in London. They met in Japan. They met in Paris. They met in Germany. They met in America on several occasions. They met here and there. They met in Abuja. They did all of that. She gave interview. Last, yeah, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. Yeah. But more people are living in multi-dimensional poverty under Bukwari. Nigeria is indebted for the next 100 years, generations, like 4, 5, 6, 10 generations that meet this Nigeria. They are entering that indebtedness. Waiting that one did for 8 years. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, cut your deal. Don't do media PR for these guys. We know that's what you do behind the scene. No be so? But if Tinubu is looking for credibility, Iweala is there to give it. And, you know, we are working to help women and children. We are working to, na lie. You saying about me? Na lie. I remember when Bukwari told the World Bank, he said, do you remember that time when Bukwari told World Bank that they must concentrate in northern Nigeria? Yeah, 2015, October 2015, when Bukwari met with a World Bank team, and they said they have this project, blah, 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 World Bank project in Nigeria. And Bukwari told them that they should concentrate in northern Nigeria. That is where the poverty is more extreme. Do you remember that? How did that go? So far, so poor. Worsen. So, Okonjo-Iweala, go in, do your World Trade Organization deal, facilitate the normal credit you always give them behind the closed door. Tell them you are borrowing them money for women, children. Do all of that. Don't do PR for Kolu. You know what I mean? Well, who am I to even say that? Anyway, people are already like, see this woman. She's doing PR job for Kolu. She wants you to see her image. So that you say, Okonjo-Iweala, very wonderful woman. I remember what Nigeria economy, Baba, that was 10 years ago. Go wake up. Snap out of it. Okonjo-Iweala, that was 10 years ago. Go wake up. A lot has happened to Nigeria before then. Criminals have taken over completely. When lunatics take over asylum, you are saying Okonjo-Iweala. The image is just there to further deceive you. They used the image for almost 8 years for Bukwari. How did that end? How? So snap out of it. And that's why we are telling her, don't do PR job. Go do your shady deals as usual. Yeah, go say you the help Africa. Give them money and all of that. We know how that's going to play out. Put it down there. Stop doing a PR job like people will see you and say, maybe Tinubu is about to bring a team. Which team? Have you seen the technocrat ministers? Have you seen his ministers? Matawale, Werewike, Devulumayi, Otoboke Yamo. Who else is there? Those are the technocrats that are... Who is deceiving who? So Okonjo will stand in front of you. Like other clown too. That one, additional of African Development Bank. That clown. The one will be saying no. The closer he is to the political structure of his country, the better the door of privilege they opened for him that will keep him at his job. So you can look at them and say that anyway, Sha, for those who believe them or those who don't, we are talking about Nigeria, a place where in front of the lawmakers, an agency, staff of an agency publicly said, we were selling job, 1 million, 2 million. They were selling job slots. And it's not probably a crime anyway. Isn't that a crime? Watch this.
Show is the PA, he served as the PA to the travel commissioner and the driver. She instructed me to liaise with him. So if there's any, as a desk officer of IPP's HR model, I'm responsible of taking whoever is recruited in federal character to IPP's for capturing. So you will not go there until when you have letter by the executive chairman or the director of the HR. So when she came, she wrote a letter to the Accountant General then that any correspondence that is coming from Federal Character Commission should not be attended to unless if she's the one that signs the letter. So whenever there is new recruitment, she signed, she gave me the names that I'll take it to Accountant General before the new this will be captured. The minister will be captured. Sir, the Shehu is the one that brought people. So many people, like almost 25 of them. One will pay 1 million, the other will pay 1.5 million, all to my personal accounts. All to my personal account, sir. Yes. My account number, that's the EcoBank account number. After which she instructed me to give her the cash, all in cash installments. There's no transfer, there's nothing, just for me to withdraw through POS, from this POS to that POS, cash installments. I take it to her. I was never at any time involved in selling jobs in to anyone. I only acted based on instructions, sir.
There is a video. You see that woman that is in the hijab, the one that is shaking her head. I'm going to go see if I still have that video so that you can see the full confession of how corrupt, how deeply corrupt that system is. Nigeria. Where's her face? That's another one. They call them the Federal Character Commission. They were selling jobs to highest bidder, 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million. People were buying jobs from those who were supposed to be screening people for jobs based on their, based on their on merit. They will say based on merit. Anyway, I'll share that with you some other time. No one is arrested, and maybe nobody will be. Hundreds of millions, if not billions of Naira siphoned by crooks, and they are reporting to other crooks who are listening to them to judge them with nothing to come out of it. But talking about the crooks who screen other people, for some reason we don't know why. People said they don't know why they had to reject this jihadist. The person on your screen there is Hel Rufai, Kaduna Little Finger, or the Zaria Little Hitler. Is the most cunniest, trickiest, and I don't know how to put that, but like a deadliest among some of the political criminals you have from northern Nigeria. Hell, Rufai.
Wannan kulle-kulle munafinci ne na mutanen Arewa, suna son su munafince mu. Mu gwamnonin Arewa da muka fito muka ce mulki ya koma kudu, kuma a ba Asiwaju Bola Tinubu goyen baya. Ba su so ba.
Suwayen Arewa.
Ka je ka duba Abela din, kai za ka gan su. Amma ni ba zan faɗa yanzu ba, amma kamar yadda na ce, wallahi akwai lokacin za mu fito mu ce gashi kuma mun san abin da suke. Girmama mutum ba tsoro ba ne. Ba, wallahi ba wanda muke tsoro a ƙasar nan. Babu, ni dai na
tsoro. Ba kuna ganin kamar
ka gani, saboda ka ba tsoron wani muke ba, muna girmama mutane, muna ba su abin nan, amma in ka nuna kai ba dattijo bane, kai zaccizo ne, wallahi za mu yake ka.
Kamar kun tsorata ne da abu irin shirin da suke yi kenan.
Hel Rufai of Kaduna. That's an old video. It was kind of baiting the Arewa people then. He said they were hypocrites. Arewa leaders are hypocrites. Why would they not support Asiwaju? Asiwaju supported one of theirs, and that was Buhari. Now it's the turn of Asiwaju, and they, Arewa, this and that, they won't support him. So, anyway, whether Arewa supported or Arewa didn't, or what have you, he made himself somebody who was to challenge them in the north of why they are not at that stage, right? Then he was selected to be minister. And then surprisingly, a lot of these Arewa started writing petitions, especially people of Southern Kaduna. This guy is a jihadist. Don't give him power. He will poison everybody to the point that by the time you spend a year together, You will become nothing. Tifnumbu, with the help of this guy, you will become nothing. It will ruin everything and all. What's all this? Then others were like, maybe Kolu is looking for a way to dispose him. And he didn't know how to say it to him. I mean, why would Akpabio and his people not clear El Rufai? Like, for real, why? They said, Ribadu said, El Rufai is a dangerous person, is a security threat. Where is that coming from? I thought you guys were the same. Like, it should be the same, no? Okay. They rejected him. That didn't go down well with him. They said he got the message. And according to they felt like the message was that they wanted to disgrace him so that they will send his name back again. And then maybe another protest and all that, they will reject him again. So, what's going to happen to El Rufai? There was a meeting at their ass old rock today. And from the report, with a wiki, Devulumayi, Bagudu, where's the other one? Gandola, as well as El Rufai. They met with Tifnumbu. And since the senators are already going on recess, so Tifnumbu is going to need to swear in his ministers. So El Rufai, what's going to be your case now? They said they would try and rescind his name. And at that point, they said El Rufai rejected it. Don't send my name again. I'm fine. Don't. I know this is a plot to embarrass me, to blah, blah, blah. My Gunshe, you did there. Of course, I wasn't there. But you know, say, even if I am not inside where they are doing their things, now them too will release them to us in public. I say, listen to this, oh, see this one, oh, see this, you know what I mean? And in most cases, they will come out and deny, only for them to go back and say, okay, yes, it happened. So don't get back at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Of course, I wasn't there physically. But did the meeting take place? Yes, it did take place. Did those I mentioned that attended the meeting, did they attend the meeting in Ask Old Rock today? Yes or no? Yes, they did attend the meeting. So why can't I just give you the CGI kind of creation of what they discussed? And it still makes sense. Anyway, they said that El Rufai said he wasn't going to take it. No, I'm not going to take another embarrassment. It's deliberate. But we'll wait and see that. So don't bank on that. As some people are saying, Tifnumbu couldn't have set him up. At least was it not the same Tifnumbu who was in Kaduna and invited during their campaign? He invited El Rufai. In fact, El Rufai was supposed to be the first person to get ministerial confirmation from Tifnumbu. So what's going to happen now? They can't reject him. Game near be done or game. Because now the certificate, now CV where Rufai took to the National Assembly be this, so it was the first person to publicly get an invitation to be a minister under Kolu.
Dear brother Nasur, make a promise. We won't let you run away from the country. That's the only way I will leave this podium. Where is the promise? You make the promise.
I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
Where is the promise? You made a promise. Where is the promise? I promise. Thank you. So what happened? Akpabio didn't get the full payment. Abi the payment they gave to Akpabio and his people didn't cover rufai. It wouldn't have been about payments. It must be something more. Now, the senators are not going to come back until September ahead. September, Abi October. Share rufai on the Sacro Nigeria, by say. They don't want you to run away from Nigeria. Anyway, that's none of my business, as somebody just said. Because whether na El Rufai go run, Abina Tifnumbu go run, Abina all of them, where we can the rest of them. There are some of you who still believe so much in the judiciary. Judicial sharing. They will do the right thing, Mayegun. I had a dream. Joseph, my dear Joseph, tell me about the dream. You know, it didn't come so clear. Yeah, I just had this dream that there's an announcement, okay, and there were people celebrating, happy, like. And then when I came out, I just saw that people were just carrying Peter Obi declared winner. I said, very lovely. Joe, have you met the judges who are going to determine that? In real life or not in the dream, so I think you should. Somebody did put together a profile, okay, on the judges, Justice Samani, Justice Benita, Justice this and that. Have you met them? Maybe you should. Then when you go back to sleep, for the next phase of your dream, you might be able to add kind of a concept to the dream, right? Like you're able to have some, I don't know, like you probably picture the justices. I'm not going to decide that for you, okay? But I just want you to meet them, all right? Because just, what do you call it? I'm coming to that. But let's go and see them. The justices to decide whether El Rufai, Tifnumbu, and the rest of them are going to run away from Nigeria, or maybe not you will finally have to japa from Nigeria. Either way, the people who will decide at this, meet them.
It is no doubt that the 2023 presidential election and the consequent election petitions that ensued are the most followed political events in Nigeria's history. With bated breath, Nigerians anxiously await the judgment in the petitions filed by the APM, Labour Party, and the People's Democratic Party (PDP), asking the court to void Tinubu's victory. While many wonder what the court's decision will portend for Nigeria's democracy, Symphony profiles the 5 judges of the Presidential Election Petition Court as they prepare to deliver their verdict on the most reportedly flawed election ever conducted in Nigeria's history. Haruna Samani, a renowned Nigerian judge, has made significant contributions to the Nigerian judicial system. Born 1959 in Gombe State, Nigeria, Justice Haruna hails from Tafawa Balewa local government area of Bauchi State. He holds a Bachelor of Laws degree from Bayero University in Kano and a Master of Law from Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. Justice Samani is a strong advocate for the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. On July 4, 2020, Justice Samani in Abuja delivered one of the judgments of the Court of Appeal that affirmed the second-term election of Governor Yahya Bello of Kogi State. In October 2021, he led the 3-member panel of the court that dismissed the suit by the suspended national chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Uche Secondus, to allow the party to hold a hitch-free national convention. He also led the panel of the court that gave the October 2022 judgment suspending the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, from custody after the charges against the secessionists were dismissed in an earlier judgment of the court. Justice Stephen Ada was born on June 13, 1957 in Dekina local government area of Kogi State. He is the presiding justice of the Asaba division of the Court of Appeal. He is the second most senior judge on the Presidential Election Petition Court panel. He is currently the presiding justice of the Court Division in Asaba, Delta State. Justice Ada has a robust record of high-profile cases with diverse subject matters. His decisions have triggered applause and dissensions. In May 2012, Mr. Ada nullified a provision in the Police Act prohibiting a female police officer from marrying a man of her choice without the permission of the Commissioner of Police in the command where she is serving. Mr. Ada held in the judgment that the provision contained in Regulation 124 of the Police Act was unconstitutional. He also gave the June 25, 2012 ruling that thwarted the plan of then-President Goodluck Jonathan's administration to rename the University of Lagos to Moshood Abiola University, Lagos. In May 2019, Mr. Ada delivered a belated judgment that could have saved the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Walter Onore, who was controversially tried at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT, and removed from office. Justice Mistura Bolaji Yusuf. Ms. Bolaji Yusuf, the only female presidential election petition court panel member, is an indigene of Oyo West local government area of Oyo State. 63 years old, Ms. Bolaji Yusuf is a law graduate from Obafemi Awolowo University. On January 12, 2006, as a judge of the High Court of Oyo State, Ms. Bolaji Yusuf issued an order that invalidated the steps taken by then-acting Chief Judge of the state, Afolabi Adeniro, which led to the illegal removal of the then-Governor, Rashidi Ladoja. Although the acting Chief Judge withdrew the case from her, her ruling was the first significant blow to the entire impeachment process, which the Supreme Court would also later nullify. The Supreme Court declared the process null and void and reinstated Mr. Ladoja in its judgment delivered on November 11, 2006. Justice Buluk Romo Ugo hails from Kolokuma, Opokuma local government area of Bayelsa State. At 57, he is the youngest among the judges on the Presidential Election Petition Court panel. Before his elevation to the Court of Appeal, he served as a Bayelsa State High Court judge for 8 years, dating back to his appointment on March 21, 2014. Justice Ugo currently serves at the Kano Division of the Court of Appeal. Justice Abba Muhammad hails from Kano State, northwest Nigeria. He was called to the Nigerian bar in 1984 and currently occupies the 71st position on the list of judges of the Court of Appeal, ranking higher than only 5 others with whom he was elevated to the bench in 2021. After serving for about 10 years, Justice Muhammad was promoted to the Court of Appeal on June 28, 2021. He is on record as having presided as chairman of the Nasarawa State Governorship Election Tribunal in 2019. Till date, no significant case is credited to him. However, his participation in Presidential Election Petition Court will be a defining landmark in his profile.
There you have them. Symphony, thank you so much for that piece, because it's the first kind of real collection of data about the Court of Appeal judges. Impeccable CV there, you would say, Abi? Quite impressive. Right. People are kind of asking right now for them to give a date. They're going to give their judgment. And they are saying, don't rush us. Give us time. We want to take our time, and then we will give you a date. So everybody is now saying, all eyes on judiciary. Sorry, I'm planning to have my own one big recording studio in Glasgow someday, where a lot of you can travel down. And as I'm talking right now, instead of having 3,000, 4,000 people watching, I'll probably have like 1,000, 2,000 people sitting in an auditorium. And then when I say something and I want you to kind of echo that back, we'll do that. Okay, we can't do that on live broadcast, so don't worry. Anyway, all eyes on judiciary. And I'm also doing the countdown too. Okay. So I am planning to take calls, but there is an update I need to give to you. A quick one before everybody leaves. For those who have been following the Yoruba Union activities, and then you probably would love an update too on what we have been doing. Tonight, I am going to kind of close the conversation with that update. All right. And then I'm going to take calls. Okay. But just before we get to that part, let's go back on the Yoruba Union activities in Yoruba land, especially our project that is to support the physically challenged. It is called the Mobility Support Project, where we have been given, wheelchairs, other kind of other stuffs like, clothing, shoes, and paying bills too, like paying bills and all that for the vulnerable people across Yoruba land. Then we came across a special case. You were here when we spoke about Mr. Lukeman. And by the way, let me say thank you to all of you who turned around and then contributed to the Yoruba Union's plan in saving his life. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you. There is an update. Mr. Lukeman is fine. There are others too on our, I told you that before, there are others on our list who also need much support. But there is more to that of Mr. Lukeman, which has now become a legacy project of that Yoruba Union. So don't go anywhere. This video is subtitled to everybody who supported the union from the beginning of this. Consider this as the update on our Yoruba Union Mobility Support Program, where we embarked. We have spent close to 1 million naira, okay, in paying for the medical, surgery, recovery, and so many other things of this man when we met him, right? Okay, I'll just share this with you. Let's start with this. There is a subtitle.
Mo wá bẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà kó ṣàánú mi, kó ṣíjú àánú wò mí, táwọn ọmọ mi ò fi ní dọmọ lọ́mọ, tí màá fi ra ọmọ mi tọ́jú, kó ṣàánú mi. Mo mọ̀ ṣe nígbà tí mi lè lọ bí kankan mọ́, mo tún lọ jẹnẹrétọ̀, mo tún ṣe jẹnẹrétọ̀ lórí ìjókòó pé nǹkan ti gbé fún mi lálákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ń belé, ìtumọ̀ gbẹ̀ mọ́. Ọmọ olùfẹ́ mọ̀ tì mí káàkiri, kò sí ọmọ kankan. Àtìgbà náà ni mo ti ń kópa fúnra mi láìsí ìyá, láìsí bàbá, láìsí ẹnì kankan. Inú tèmi náà dùn gan-an, mo rí inú mi dùn gan-an. Ọlọ́run, mo ní 100% kíní báyìí. So I really fit well well. So n bá rẹ́ǹjì mọ́tò lórí ìjókòó máa tù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mà, tí n bá rẹ́ǹjì mọ́tò máa tù. Ẹ ṣé gan. Thank you very much. Dúpẹ́ lọ Yoruba Union gan, ó kù ní pé nǹkan díẹ̀ wọ́n dá èmi padà sí ilé ayé, torí mi rò pé bóyá mo tẹ̀lé jẹ́ èèyàn mọ́. Àmọ́ nígbà tí Yoruba Union tí wọ́n dé, wọ́n sọ mí di èèyàn padà, wọ́n sì dá èmi padà sí ilé ayé, torí ìrò tí mò ń rò tẹ́lẹ̀ ni pé bóyá pé ẹsẹ̀ mi ló pa mí, àmọ́ mo wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá Union pé wọ́n dẹ́ mi padà mo sì mọ́ lóore gbogbo ibikíbi tí ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wọn tán ro kòrò sí àbí tán ro kòrò sí orí ìmọ̀dé bá wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ibikíbi táwọn ọmọ tí wọn náà bá wà ó mọ̀ bá àánú Ọlọ́run pàdé mo dúpẹ́ o mo mọ́ lóore o mo mọ́ lóore torí ẹ̀yin lẹ́jẹ́ kẹ́mi mi wà dé ni torí tí n bá ti jí mo máa ń rò pé bóyá ẹsẹ̀ yìí náà ni ó pa mí àbí tí n bá ti sùn mo máa ń rò pé bóyá pé mi ò ní jí mọ́ àmọ́ mo wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá Union pé mo tún wà lálàáfíà ara mi jí pépé báyìí kódà mo lálàáfíà ju ti tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá Union o. Níbi tá a wà yìí ilẹ̀ mọ́mì wa ni wọ́n rẹ̀ fún àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi orí Èkó lèmi wà tẹ́lẹ̀ tọ́jú fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àti àbúrò mi àmọ́ nínú ibi tí mò ń gbé nígbà tó ti ní ká jáde ilé fámìlì mi kódà aládìgbà tí mo ti parí ẹsẹ̀ mi gan tí mo ti wà nílé yẹn lọ padà kò jọ bí ìgbà tó yẹ pé mò ń lálàkàlà kò jọ pé bóyá ìgbà tí mò ń sùn pẹ̀lú ìnira ni so ẹ̀gbọ́n mi wá yọ̀ǹda ìbáyìí fún mi pé òun yọ̀ǹda nínú ìpín tán pín òun náà yọ̀ǹda fún mi so mo á bẹ Yorùbá Union ẹ bá lè ràn mí lọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ room and parachef content láàrin yìí kí n tẹ̀bi kúrò nílé ibi fámìlì tán sọ pa wà orí mo wà ń bẹ̀ gan ìrìn lálàáfíà ìrìn ìfọkànbalẹ̀ ìrìn sùn.
To everybody who knew about this when it all started, when we met Mr. Lukeman, you see that bone? You see that bone on this knee bone, right? Was pretty much like exposed. The bone was out. The doctors were wondering why he was still alive. His threshold for holding pain was unimaginable. They were shocked that he was even still alive, So the first leg got amputated. The second leg, he was really poor enough that he couldn't afford the surgery. So they just left it to rotten away until it dropped off. Guys, they didn't cut the leg. The leg fell off. That's his story. He's got 4 kids. The union decided to make him a project, okay, where they said that we could actually build him a space. He won't have to worry about rent. And we too can possibly just go on and help others too, like him. Not build houses for everybody, no, but like help others when we finally get something for him. He's a trained mechanic as well. So he would want us to support him in with equipment and then a place where he could easily just walk with his hands. He said, give me fish. Teach me how to fish. Don't give me fish. So their family, their mom, long story short anyway. So where we met him happened to be their family house. And according to people in the area, they never expected anybody to come and look for him. He's got 4 children that have been begging for them to feed for a while now until we came along. Now, coming along kind of unsettled a lot of people in the area that suddenly, right, they don't want him to stay around. Even though the doctors in that same Ilorin told us that ordinarily when somebody is in that state, that physical state, okay, it's such a burden on the people around them, not to talk of those who are actually like caring for them. So we can imagine, or for them to now say he should leave. So the union has taken over his care, like you all know. So we are going to temporarily accommodate him until we build him a place. So you can support us as usual, right? Every penny counts, okay? So now talking to the family members as well, who indeed signed this agreement with us, that we, they are so grateful. And indeed, when it comes to the landed, they have a land, their mother's land, okay? And it has been given to the other siblings. Now, his own senior brother, who happened to be the Oloriebi, said he's already developed this. He's given other siblings theirs. Now, this small space is his. And if we can build something there for him, and I was told that with 5 million naira, 7 million naira, we could actually set him up properly. Even though that may sound like, oh my God, only him. What about others? Listen, with the union, with all of us coming together, you can't imagine what we can achieve. But let's start with one step at a time. Abi? Now we are interested. I am interested. A lot of the union leaders are interested. And in fact, temporarily, we have other things worked out too. So we went to the place and said, okay, let's see the place. That could possibly house a room or 2 rooms, self-contained, and a small space for, you know what I mean? Like, listen to this.
lálàáfíà ní ìfọkànbalẹ̀ níbi súnbẹ̀ tó máa bẹ̀rù báyìí ní ọ̀kan dáhùn kan ṣàánú mi láàrin yìí ọjọ́ rúmọ̀ ń palọ̀ ọ̀kan dáhùn kan ṣàánú mi kọ́ bá ń kọ́ kí n mọ gbé bíbá yìí ọkàn mi ò tún balẹ̀ níbà ìdíbi tí mo wà lọ ní family house. mẹkáníìkì ni mí tẹ́lẹ̀ ọ̀gá aṣẹ́dẹ̀ ni mí mò ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní bẹ́jà ní along Awapa road lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àmọ́ nígbà tí ò sí agbára mọ́ láti ṣiṣẹ́ mẹkáníìkì mọ́tò nígbà tí mo wà lórí ìjókòó mo tún fi àìdíà yẹn mo tún fi kọ́ṣẹ́ jẹnẹrétọ̀ mo dẹ̀ máa ń pa páàtì máṣíìnì títà mo ń pa jẹnẹrétọ̀ ṣíṣe tí Yorùbá Union tán bá ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti máa ṣe jẹnẹrétọ̀ yẹn láti máa ta àwọn páàtì díẹ̀díẹ̀ inú mi ò bá dùn àti máa fi bọ́ àwọn ọmọ mi. mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n wá ran àwọn ọmọ mi lọ́wọ́ tán wá ran àwọn ọmọ mi lọ́wọ́ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn pé gbogbo ibi táwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n náà bá ń dé wọ́n mọ̀ ọ́rá làánú lágbára Ọlọ́run wọn ó sì mọ ròkè aṣíwájú ni wọn ní dèrò ẹ̀yìn lágbára Ọlọ́run. àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n bá ràn lọ́wọ́ náà àwọn náà sanjọ́ fún wọn lágbára Ọlọ́run wọn ní kó wọn jáde lékú lọ́wọ́ wọn sì ní kó wọn jáde lárùn lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ohun tó bá ṣe lórí wọn Ọlọ́run fún wọn láṣeyọrí Ọlọ́run sì fi yìn wọn. mo sì rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí Yorùbá Union eré iṣẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ máa ṣe kò lè wà easy fún mi láti jókòó lórí kẹ̀kẹ́ láti máa ṣe wọn á rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí gbogbo Yorùbá Union pé tán bá lè ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti bá ń gẹ́tì ẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì láti mọ fi iṣẹ́ inú mi ò bá dùn tán bá lè bá ń gẹ́tì ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo Yorùbá Union ẹ dákun mo bẹ̀ yín lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ ní ṣìṣe o.
orúkọ tèmi ni Abdulrasheed Abdulsalam tí mo jẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n fún Lukeman Abdulsalam. mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá Union gidi gan fún ohun tí wọ́n ṣe lérí àbúrò mi ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni ó jẹ́ni tó tẹ̀lé mi ìgbà tí yíṣù yìí dé èmi gan ti já kàmù náà pé bóyá mo lọ́mọ ìyá ìgbà tí Yorùbá Union tẹ́wọ́ gbà mo dúpẹ́ gan mo dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá mi dúpẹ́ fún wọn mọ̀ bọ̀ pẹ́ kálukú wọn jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ náà Ọlọ́run ní jó bàjẹ́ ìdèbí tó dé dúró yìí Ọlọ́run tún jójú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ Ọlọ́run sì mọ̀ràn kálukú wọn lọ́wọ́ mo dúpẹ́ lórí ọmọ ìyá mi gidi gan mo dúpẹ́ gan bọ̀ lórí ibi tí a wà yìí mo fẹ́ sọ díẹ̀ nípa rẹ̀ torí kó má bàa di pé bóyá ó di ọjọ́ iwájú wọn á di àròjé àbí ń di kò sáròyé kankan lórí ẹ̀ because èmi ni mo ní èmi náà sì láṣíwájú gbogbo wọn tí wọ́n fún ní kinní yìí kò mú láǹfààní àti pín fún wọn gbọ̀gbà tí kò sí nílé kò jẹ́ kó ráǹfààní àti rí ti ẹ̀gbà ẹnu ọba tó wá kù lára ti tèmi mo yọ̀ǹda rẹ̀ fún láyé àti lọ́run gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìjọmọ ìyá kádẹ̀jọ wà pẹ̀lú ara wa lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa kó mọ̀ sí pé bóyá ẹnìkan wà níbì kan because dédé bó ṣe wà yìí ó wà lọ́kàn mi láti pé kí n wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ kí n máa ṣàmójútó rẹ̀ dáadáa fún kọ̀díṣàn tó wà. ní Yorùbá Union bá lè bá wa gbìyànjú lórí rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run fún wọn lágbára àti ṣe ká bá mi ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sí ní àwọn fẹ́ ṣe Ọlọ́run bá mi gbà fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ o Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó dúró tì àwọn náà.
So, thank you for watching, right? So, to everybody who might want to be part of this, we're going to have to raise, we're going to raise funds. Yeah, we're going to raise money at a later date. And I'm going to bring some of the union leaders here. Princess, you're going to join me here on that day. African Wahala, I mean, it is time for you to also come up and then let them see those who are doing the wonderful work behind the scene. You know me, I'm just Mayegun. Even though I am the convener of the Yoruba Union, but there are very, very powerful, powerfully interested people in this work. And we call our work volunteering. You know, it's like a thankless job. You know, there's no one reward that actually comes to you for it. You just do it because you are willing to help people too. And in the process of helping them, in the name of Yoruba Union, right, we also come with our messages. The messages that continue to remind them that they deserve better than what Nigeria is offering us. And only if they choose what is right, then we can stop or end what is wrong. That's our message. It's peaceful. It's very much conversational, right? And you are welcome to disagree with us. But one thing you won't take away is that humanity in us, which is actually the powerful tool we want to use now. Humanity. Right? So thank you so much to all the leaders. Thank you especially to Princess, the mother of the union back in Nigeria. She's doing a great work, and I've got so much other videos to share with you. But I want to take calls so that I can have your views. And also, if you are willing to support us, you can use our Give Send Go. I'm also going to share the Nigerian account. We have a Nigerian account for the Karo Jire. It is a registered organization in Nigeria, and we end up doing everything we have to do, like legally, according to their laws, so that we can keep our workers, those with us, our volunteers across the Yoruba land safe and protected too. You know what I mean, right? We know those we are dealing with, and we hope our path will never cross in a negative way. But apart from that, you can join us too. Like, you can. We believe that if the people choose that they are tired of Nigeria, genuinely, if they know why they are in their large number, they can make it happen. Now, that is the job that a lot don't want to do. They just feel like, why don't you know what you should do? Why can't everybody stand up? Why can't all of us just stand up and just fight? You have no idea if you haven't really visited some of these people. They have been broken. They have been weakened. And all of this have been done over the years. You need something more than just what they are facing right now as an enticement to get them back up. The message with information that is helpful. And you say, you know, information is life. If they can have the right one, they will fight the right fight. That's kind of my own theory. And it seems that's the theory of all the elders in Yoruba Union. So you can join us too. It doesn't have to be just Yoruba. You can be Yoruba, you can be friends of Yoruba, so joining us as well. You are all welcome. Our idea is pure, liberal, and open. And thank you for listening to that or watching that. Okay. I am going to take calls, like I said, but I will need a break. Just 2 minutes or so. Okay. When I get back, I'll take calls and we can chat for the next hour before we all go to bed. So if you haven't liked this broadcast, you should now. I mean, like it now before you leave, and then share it too. And when I get back, we'll take calls. Don't go anywhere. I think I have a caller already. Hello there. Is that Zeus?
Hello, that's Zeus again, number
Zeus
one.
again. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I just want to thank you for everything. I want to thank Princess Balogun as well. And my brother African Wahala. You guys are doing amazing. You guys touching my heart in a deeper spot. And I appreciate you all.
Thanks, man.
Fantastic job you guys are doing. Any way I can support, I will do that.
Please.
You know, maybe one of these days I'll introduce some of your people, some of the people into my clinic too. I can do that work for free. But I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful for what you're doing.
Thanks.
Let's talk about Nigeria for a minute. I don't want to waste too much time. We if you think about what we did in Liberia and Sierra Leone, we spent over $13 billion just for that insurgency that we did. We lost so many soldiers and we lost so many money. And again, there's no way Nigeria is going to go because we're following the foreign expatriates that are trying to conquer and invade Africa. And this is not how we show our brotherly love. It's not to go kill our brothers. It's not right. And we don't even have the amount or the money yet. We're servicing our debts and everything. We're not going to go into a war like that. I mean, what is trying to happen in Africa has changed. What they're not doing practicing democracy. They're practicing what I call like autocracy. They're over there putting their puppets in. I don't know if Africa has any base in Europe or America, but they have their bases all across Africa. They even have a drone base in Niger where they're gonna spy anything we're doing and all those stuff. These people are not there for us; they're there for themselves.
Yeah.
So whatever we're doing right now with this government, it's not for the sake of Africa. They're doing it for the sake of the imperialists, the ones that really did us wrong. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just want a system where one day we all can sit on the table and decide if we want to continue this train or not. It's not working. Nigeria is a project. It started with a Niger company, and I would say it's like a business. It's not working for us. We, the people, have to stand up and say, either we're moving forward with this stuff or we're going to end it and have that important discussion. Mayego, I just want that's the little word I want to say, but thank you so much. I always number one now.
Now you are. I mean,
I love you.
Keep it at that. It's been on the road. I have another caller. Hello there.
Hello, Mayego. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, how are you doing today? Is Ifai?
Oh, sorry, I was like multitasking here. How are you doing tonight too?
Yeah, I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm well. Thanks for asking. You're live. Go on.
Please, thank you for the charity jobs. One thing I know with people who do, one thing I know is that everything is connected to everything. Whoever does good definitely will get rewarded one way or the other. That's one thing I believe in. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Whenever you drop the Nigeria account, I will try and check for it.
That will be brilliant. I'm going to ask for it soon. Anyway, people are already asking me. So yeah, go on. Tonight.
Yeah, my first travel, the first time I left Nigeria was 29 September 2011. Do you know how much I bought $3,000? I bought $3,000. I bought $3,000 450,000 at Oka. I think it was sold at 150 Naira that time per dollar. $3,000. I bought it 450,000 Naira. 11 years after. That is like 2023. We are now 11, 12 years after. The same amount of money is now what, about 2.8 million Naira. Nobody's worried. So people know this fact now, and they are sharing money at Abuja. And the most painful thing I saw this evening, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, of all people. But do you remember what I used to tell you? That the politicians are not the problem. The problem is those smart people in the middle class. They are very, very few. But they are the ones that are tolerating all these things. How can Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala? She knows this man is demanding legitimacy. And she went there to give it to him. That's the only thing she went there to do. There's nothing like economic team or any other. She only went there to give him that legitimacy. She only went there to give him legitimacy. Because even if you listen to her, she was saying it's not an official visit.
Yeah.
It's not an official visit. She just went there on her own to give him legitimacy. So the middle class, they are the main problem. The politicians are not even the problem. Those ones are just pure criminals. Everybody knows that. So the middle class, and then you look at the list of the judges. Now I'm beginning to see the things you are seeing. Did you see the last profile? The profile for the last judge says he has not
or something like that one last
one. Yes. They said he has not had any serious case before, and you are giving him the most serious case this country has ever seen. This is the most serious of them all. So he's going to begin his case with something as serious as this particular case.
Do experiments.
So you are now saying that in the whole northern and southern Nigeria, there is no other experienced judge in appeal court that would have replaced that young man. Mayego, what do you think? Are you saying there is no judge again?
I decided to let all of you know them. So if you are asking me again, you are throwing it back at me. So that means you are going to come back to what I have already said, that I don't have any faith in them. But again, I decided to let all of you see them and then be the judge. You have been the first one to talk about them, so I would like to hear others too.
It's a very terrible something. But just like I usually say, Nigeria is just one Supreme Court judgment away for explosion, or we know if we are going back to do the real thing. Because if they say P2B has won, then somebody like me is going to be like, then what's going to happen now? Then if they say Tinubu has won, I won't be surprised. But then everybody knows that we don't know where we'll go from there.
Well, maybe
so thank you very much.
That's what we all do. We hold people down for a month or two, hoping that
one Supreme Court judgment away. Exactly. Whatever the Supreme Court decides now determines a lot of things in Nigeria, a whole lot of things, that judgment. Because people can't hold on to this anymore now. It's no longer normal. And now,
have you noticed?
I'm also beginning.
Have you noticed that it seems that people have decided to move on?
People have decided.
And all of the, I'm not talking about the waiting on judiciary. I'm talking about all this hardship thing.
Normally,
people have sort of decided to just move on. Nobody knows what's next. It's like they just,
Yes, exactly. Do you know that in 2012, Nigeria occupied Ojota because petrol was sold at how much? Did you remember the price of petrol?
87.
Did you know? Then dollar was at 108 that particular period. When we occupied Ojota, when dollar was at 180, today dollar is going to sell at 1,000 in less than 40 days.
Dollar is over 900 naira to a dollar.
Think about it, Mayegu.
1,200 naira to a pound.
Nobody wants to occupy Ojota anymore.
Eh?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to occupy Ojota. Nobody wants to occupy Ojota anymore. And the incumbent president, the one that is now calling himself president, was in the front line the day they did that to occupy Ojota. And today he's the president. It is at 900 and something. Nobody's kind of worried. And I'm beginning to, and the politicians are just having a field day. Can you imagine Akpabio on camera telling you that he is, my God, Mayegu, please. It's horrible.
Like, what are you guys going to do other than to complain? You just complain anyway. What are you going to do about it?
And they complain. All right.
Good night. Okay. I mean, if you are still watching, you can still like the broadcast, by the way, right? Hello there.
Hello,
hello, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Hold on, let me just mute the system.
The broadcast. Thank you.
Okay, just 1 minute, sir. Okay, right. Good evening. All right. I'll try and be as brief as possible so that you can speak to as many people as you can. Right. Okay. I've been thinking lately that America might be behind all the wala throughout the world. America might be pulling their string everywhere to cause instability. Because especially for Democrats, their history, they are dirty people. Even from about 200 years ago, they've always been like this. This is who they are, So my thing is, could these people be supporting Tinubu because they know that when we have a stable government in Nigeria, it does not serve their purpose? Could it be what we are looking at?
Yeah, what happened is that I just keep wondering if that theory is, it's sad because if Nigeria is stable economically, they will profit too. They will make a lot of money. You get what I mean? Like everything is like, traded according to their value, right? Nigerians are in Nigeria, they are prospering. Foreigners are coming in to make their deals, getting all their stuffs. Everybody is fine. Like,
Okay. Let me go.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Like,
Let me go further and touch the one that that goes with the economic gain. There will, there is if anybody, I mean, maybe in Africa, I don't know, maybe they don't understand this. There is a real threat to our existence as humans. The people that be, the powers that be, think that we're overpopulated. So it serves their best purpose to create war in order to cut down on world population. Now, my fear is Putin, they would drive him to desperation one day. He's going to press that nuclear button, and half of the world is going to go. That's a grim path that is facing us. One day it will just happen. Maybe some of us will be in our sleep. Maybe some of us will be just waking up, and half of the population will go.
It's just not something good to say. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not good. It's not about something, but
if everything just party, at least dead people know they pay debt. So we just be like, you know what?
Yeah, exactly. Just read them. They think they've got their plans, they've got all their bunkers, and those bunkers, I saw one of them, it was like a whole city, deep down. Okay, look at what is distraction, all the rubbish they're telling us now. There is they are aliens. Aliens really exist, all those words, So I think in the grand scheme of things, we are dealing with much more bigger demons that we think we are dealing with. Tinubu is just a scratch. I think they are backing him now, for their own selfish ends, and that's why they are telling us that yes, we do have information on him, but we can't release it now. So I'll not be, like you've always been warning, that I will not be surprised with what the judges will come up one day. Maybe they are going to announce this time at 3 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, God knows. But I'm not expecting the best and all that. But the thing is that
that there's nothing beyond them, nothing they can do.
Exactly. And unfortunately, our youth have been dumped down mentally. This is not to insult anybody, but that's a fact. Every youth who is ready to go out there, who is ready to die, because revolution is what we need. But these people have known that, listen, nobody's coming out to die. The soldiers are all cowards. Yeah, if there's a soldier hearing me now, yes, I'm talking to you. You're all cowards and all that. You will remain there. Somebody is paying you just £65 for the whole month, and they are being paid about up to $60,000 every month, plus the corruption, plus the side corruption that is upon it and all that. You cannot do anything. So let us just be there and be waiting until you guys are ready.
The time is taken. That's what I tell people, right? When you feel like, what should we do? Right? What should we do now? And then you see others saying, oh, what should we do? Everybody's turning to themselves, what should we do? What can we do? Don't worry, right? Time will tell that all of us will know what to do, and we're all going to agree. And that is revolution.
Let me just address my IPOB brothers and my Yoruba Nation brothers. Please. They are not going to give you information. They are not going to give you any Biafra. No. If you want it, you've got to go, like Tinubu said, you got to go and grab it yourself. You got to listen. It's not, and it's not a matter of being gone and all that. We have to be prepared to die. That's just a grim fact about the whole thing. See, Akpabio, I mean, when you see all those things that is just going on, they're just taking a piece. It's painful, very, very painful. But for you to do, I now see what Shuere has been talking about. Okay, in conclusion, the gentleman in Kwara State that we just give him money to. Lukeman. Can we look at the possibility of maybe, I don't know what the medical prognosis will be in order to see if one can get him a prosthetic legs, because since he says he won't go back to work.
Look into that, because it's been kind of muted already. Like, people are saying things like, well, they could get that for him, we could get him this or that, and he himself has been able to say, he started saying that, well, I would be so much grateful.
Yeah, he wants to go back to work. There's nothing wrong with his hand, which is fantastic. I like his spirit. I mean, I was so touched that day. I know that I'm so happy seeing the smile. You know, that is the essence of humanity, seeing the smile on the face. And lastly, what will you? People asking for money on the channel while the program is going on. I think you need to tell them if anybody wants any help. We're not shy to help people here. Because we don't know who is who. They should go through the Yoruba Union if you need any help. I don't think it's a nice thing asking people individually to give you money while the program is running, because there are a lot of scammers here. So that's all I've got to say this evening.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I appreciate this. All right. We share all the necessary information at the right time. I just had to give us the updates. I'm trying to bring Mr. Lukeman himself. I'm thinking of bringing him over here, like join us live from Ilorin, so that we can actually have a chat with him. But I'm planning to bring the leaders of the union as well onto the program, so we can have one before the weekend. And it's going to be a fundraiser too. So you might need to bring your checkbook when you're joining that program. I'm joking. Hello there.
Good evening, Michael. How are you?
Good evening. Is that Charm?
It's Charm. Yes, it's
Charm. Lovely. How you doing? You're still in you're still in the UK, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still in the UK. I'm still here for about.
You are enjoying us, right? Okay.
I don't know about enjoyment. The weather is very, very British at the moment.
It is very British. That's brilliant. So yeah, you are back tonight. Sorry, go on.
Yes, I was just going to say, almost seems like the same sequence of people that called the last time I called. And it's really, really funny. It almost seems like we're the only ones getting through. I'm going to try and be really, really quick. I didn't even plan to call in today. I just wanted to listen. Yes, I just wanted to listen to the whole, the whole show. But I wanted to respond to something you said that the previous caller, he said, he talked about the possibility that Tinubu is being supported by the West in order to cause instability in the region. And then you responded by saying that, well, if there's instability in the region, that doesn't really work for them, right? No, but that's not true. It works best for them, because if you think about,
I'm just thinking that the overflow of refugees in that region and all that,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, that when there's instability in the country, then there will be excess people looking to settle, move to the West. Into the West, basically, or any other developed country. That's one way to look at it. But another way to look at it is, what is the reason? What is the reason why France is going through all this trouble? Resources, and Africa is a resource-rich continent. And what they've always wanted to do is to be able to have access to our resources without paying a fair price, or without paying any price at all. Now, in the last two shows that we watched, you talked about how the contract between the country Niger and France states the uranium is sold at $11, but then France goes out and sells the same uranium for over $200 and something.
That's right.
Right now, another thing, because I've been slowly following the whole Niger issue. So it's not as if the soldiers were not able to clear out the rebellion that is going on there. But once they start and they're making progress, the politicians in power tell them to pull back. That's right. Why do they has anyone ever thought, why do they tell them to pull back? Because the politicians and the so-called rebels are all in on it. They also get to mine these resources at the back door. They also get to sell the illegally mined uranium to the same France. But guess what? France is not going to pay the country that illegally mined uranium, because it didn't come through the country through the legal means. Okay, so they're making money in so many ways. Now, if the continent remains unstable, what that allows them to do is to have access to the country without anybody really paying attention, without us really, it's like, look this way while I do this other thing. Right? The last caller talked about, aliens and all of that business. Now, they all brought about the whole alien story. Meanwhile, you had the Hunter Biden investigation, which people said if they had actually agreed that Hunter Biden investigation was the real thing, it might have affected the outcome of their elections. maybe Biden wouldn't have won. But the same strategy, look this way, look at all of this headline about UFOs and this, and they're paying attention. Meanwhile, this other thing is going on to distract you. So it's the same strategy here. We have all the, what's it called, the Igbos and Yorubas, they pitted us against one another and all of that business. Look here, look at all of these things happening while something else is going on. So that's the same strategy. So if this region remains unstable, it's easier for them to come in. It's easier for them to sell the story that, we're going to go and rescue Africa once again. And they are here. Yeah, we're going to a peace mission. We're going to go and rescue them because they don't know how to rescue themselves. We're going to go and save them because they know how to save themselves.
All of the resources of Africa that they say they are still undervalued will be looted. Like,
they will be looting
unhindered.
it. Those are the places where unhindered, unchallenged, nothing. Because guess what? We are trying to save ourselves. So our minds are not even there. So those are where the soldiers will be, where the resources are, where they can have access to it, where they can tap it without anybody telling you anything. Nobody even raising a voice. Samuel Doe, I remember when Samuel Doe was killed, right? I was in secondary school at the time. Then all the whole news was about how his people didn't like him and all of that. Now, when as an older person, the story really was Samuel Doe challenged the price of the resource that America was collecting for almost for free. They didn't want that, and they killed him. Okay, so again, I just wanted to respond to that.
That they've carried out 50 different, either through assassination, coup, or change of government in Africa in the last 60 years.
Of course, this is I watch a lot of programs, right? And art imitates life. A lot of things they do here, they cause instability in the country so that they can infiltrate the country and come into the country under the guise of, humanitarian missions and this and that and the other. And then they steal the resources. These people want to be able to have access to our resources without paying a fair price for it, without giving us what we are supposed to get.
You know what they said that attracted some of these African countries to Russia? Russia is offering them sovereignty, like real one, right? It was telling them that keep your resources. If we need any to get from you, we can help you negotiate their sale all over the world. It's yours. It's, you know what I mean? Like, control your this, control your that, make your choices. These are things that France never offered them. Like,
exactly. France relies on uranium for for its energy needs. Now you're taking uranium from a country. You never want to stop that. You will teach them how to use the same uranium for their own energy needs. That they have to rely on a country like Nigeria for 70% of their electricity, for goodness sake. No roads, no hospital, no nothing. And you want to be free to carry on. And that's why I said the last time I called, nobody is coming to save Africa. Yes, the Russians might want to give us all of this and all of that, but nobody is coming to save it. We have to save ourselves. I really want to look forward to the day when I can take myself and my family back home, because I think that's where we truly belong, where we don't have to be told, okay, we have to accept a certain ideology in order for us to walk around and breathe freely, or that this color of my skin is a problem for you. No, we don't need any of that anymore. Right, but it is what it is at the moment. If I could fight, I would. I honestly would. Anyway, that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Charm. Right, it's lovely to hear from you again, and you're still here anyway. So enjoy your stay. Right.
Thank you.
So Charm will be probably going back to the US once the British radar is now showing some ash signs. I believe never be as ash as that of the US anyway. So deal. Hello there.
One name.
Osita.
Okra. Okro.
Which one be that one again? Oh?
No, that one our football language. Those days I play football.
Right. Yeah. Is that something good?
Yeah, it's something good. When they say okra, that means finish them.
Right. It's good to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Osita. How is it? So
yeah, it's all good. It has been a beautiful day.
Class.
So
you are joining the chat as well tonight. So did you join us from the beginning or midway?
I did. I joined from the beginning. So actually, today is my day off. Anyway.
Okay. Please go for it.
You know, in this particular chapter, this brouhaha happening in Africa today, I think this is where me and our dear Princess Balogun, we align together whenever we talk about this thing. The truth to the matter, the West has always used propaganda, not necessarily by guns or anything. They don't really fight wars when they want to get things. They use propaganda. And when they use that propaganda, they find a means of dividing their adversaries. If you look at what is happening between them and China, what the Chinese are trying to do is not to get them to penetrate into their country, because if they do, they will literally break you. They will come with an issues of, oh, human rights. You are not accepting human rights. Oh, human right that, human right this. Especially in America, even you don't have human rights organizations that work. Or like in Europe, maybe when things goes on, you just go and get human rights organization. They will come to your aid immediately. They will start protesting. But here, it doesn't work that way. You can go to Europe, for example, and you seek asylum, that, oh, something is pursuing you in Africa, and they will answer you. Here, it doesn't happen that way. So what they use is propaganda. And the two most dangerous organizations in the history of mankind, I am sorry to say, the CIA and the KGB. The CIA,
Russian,
the US.
American, yeah?
Yes. They are competing who is the worst. And probably the Chinese, I've forgotten their own, the Chinese has joined them. So all these things you are seeing is clash of ideology, which it takes 40 years in their world, in the world of this security organization. It takes them 40 years to build up an ideology, an idea. As it is right now, the ideology of the West is crashing, is crumbling. But the question we'll have to ask ourselves, how do we crush that ideology? It is by the people agreeing. I appeal to Africa. We are the ones. When they said where two elephants, they fight. The grass is the one that suffers. We are the grass and we are the ones suffering it. They allowed the Asians to escape. In the 18th, whatever, I can't remember, the 18th something, when they made their Berlin Resolution, that is when they distributed the world, how the world order is going to look like. The America and the British, they took control of the Middle East and Asia. While they left, this is the reason we are crying France, France, France. No, they left France for Africa. The French, the Dutch, including the Germans, the
Italians, the Portuguese.
Belgium.
I was so shocked when I realized so many interests that are actually in Niger. We are all saying France, 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 because France takes the largest share, but they are actually many in this region.
So they actually,
Italians too. I was hearing Belgians too. So I was hearing German. I was like, really? So it's like, it's crawling with all these guys from all these places.
Yes, they ceded Africa to those ones in Europe. But the British, if you look at it in Africa, the biggest hold that the British have blocked is Nigeria and South Africa. Zimbabwe, they don't have much time. The reason is like, the reason they did all those things is for them to barricade us, give us walls, and give us borders.
And now,
because the more
borders in Africa, I don't even know when they're going to clean that up. If
they don't, do you know that actually they don't even know the size of Africa? This thing they are talking about, that Africa is this, Africa is that. They don't know the size of Africa, how big Africa is. So at the end of the day, they do this thing for their own selfish gains. when you look at, when they talk about this uranium, they will tell you that Canada has the largest deposit of uranium. Then why are you guys not buying from Canada? Why are you buying from Africa?
Like, why is Canada? Do you know how many Canadian companies that are drilling resources in this part of Africa too? I was shocked when I got the numbers. I was like, what?
My brother,
Canada,
the reason,
in Africa. Now they're all declaring sanctions. Now they are all sanctioning Niger. Now even Canada, they sanction Niger, but they sanction Nigeria. I was like, what is Canada's business? Of course.
So the reason they tell you that Canada has the largest amount of the reserve of the uranium is just that so that you don't feel too important. Even they know you have more, but they don't want you to feel too much important that, oh, you have much uranium that they do have. So my question is, why are they not buying from Canada?
Somebody said it's because Canadian resources is reserved for the future. Let's extract everywhere first. America is one of the highest oil producer in the world, but you will never read it anywhere that America is oil producer. It's always America is the biggest oil producer. They are supposed to be. America is also the biggest oil buyer in the world. They are buying everything from everywhere, storing them all over the place to claim.
Why are they not in? Why are they not a member of OPEC?
You know.
So So the reason you're seeing all these things.
No.
Yes. The reason why you're seeing all these things, which brings me to that thing I keep saying. I used to think education was the problem before. But since about 2 weeks ago, I started thinking about it. The problem Africa has is we have too much respect for elders. These same failures that we call elders, we have too much respect for them.
Even when they are
failing. Will tell you, yes, even when they are failing. Because it's until we can say the truth how it is, even if it is your dad you are talking to, your biological father that you're talking to, if you can stand to him and tell him the truth that this thing is not the way it's supposed to be, they will keep telling us, don't you have elders? Don't you want to grow old? Don't you? And that is what has kept us the way we are. If you look at it, every pattern that we have followed, I pray to that guy in South Africa that guy should stay alive for some time. Julius Malema. The guy has really caused them a lot of problems. Another person is Professor Malumba. This people's speech has really opened the eyes of the youths in Africa. And that is the reason we are pushing back. The Russians, the Chinese have been watching different programs. I understand. The truth about the Russians and the Chinese is that they want something from you. They don't dictate to you how you are going to spend the money. They will ask you, you want schools to be built, right? Then this is what we want. You negotiate. But the West doesn't have that for us. The West, they rather do the thing they did in Saudi Arabia when they discovered oil, crude oil. They will tell them, oh, let us give you, they gave them $2 billion to establish that Emirates that you are seeing today. But at the end of the day, the reason they are not getting it right anymore was because a young radical boy came up. And today he rules that country. And he has seen a lot of things and he is willing to take his chances. The only remedy to this thing is that the youths of Africa or the people of Africa, I am telling people, if they want to kill us, let them kill us. But we have to do this. We have to carry out a revolution, not just in Nigeria, but that revolution has to be an African revolution. And I am warning Tinubu or whatever. If you think you can support these people and bring in some idiot, some lunatic, and say, oh, these people are going to fight as rebels. If you think it's going to be like that, that thing is going to enter Nigeria. He himself will run away from Nigeria and stay in France. That is the thing he doesn't understand. And that is the thing that they refuse to understand, because the largest population in the whole of Africa resides in that particular region, including Nigeria. So when it starts, I will know who is going to take up the refugees. Thank you, my brother.
Osita, thanks a lot, all right? You have a good one. I am going to take another call. Oh, I've already done that anyway. So, hello there.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayeg.
How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you? So, Air Force One.
That's Air Force One.
Yes, sir.
Baba Adeo, and you are live, please.
All right. So, what a perplexing. So go a perplexing story of a perplexing show.
Oh, join. Depends on which lens you are using to watch this, you know. Depends.
Yeah, it's a perplexing situation. It's not your show. I'll take that back. So, see, Okonjo. You know exactly what you said, how you analyze that visit of Okonjo. It's the same thought that I had when I saw that thing on Instagram. And the funniest thing is this: Nigeria, they already started commenting, Nigeria economy must be good. Thank God, Okonjo is here. Okonjo is that. Okonjo is, oh God. Yeah. See, there's one thing about your show, okay, that it's renewal of the mind. Renewal of the mind, that is, it's renewing people's mind. Highly informative and, like changing the mindset of people. And that's what I said, exactly what I thought. And the only way I was able to think that way is because I've been following it.
Like my
the same thing you said, the way
deceived. Because if you deceive them during the day, if they begin to look like, oh, this didn't look, once they come and watch Mayegu in the evening, all the lies you told them during the day will become nothing. And they begin to feel like, oh, I was almost beginning it to thank you, Jare Mayegu. If not because of you, I would have believed the lie. So, of course, my people are not easily lied to. And to that, they don't really like us for that. Like, why can't you just listen to a small lie? Why must you challenge everything? Why?
As a matter of fact, to that, kudos to your work. That is, everything you've been doing is effective.
Thank you.
All right, and it's impacting, like renewing. Because, like I said, exactly the way I thought the whole thing through is what you. If you have to be my professor and have to write the exam on analyzing that zing, it's the same thing.
Trust me, if you are very,
I'm telling you, bro,
into it and you explain it that way, and I'm your professor, I'll give you
bro.
Trust me, like that.
It's the same thing. Now, but see, another caller, there was a caller that called in, the second caller that was kind of bashing her that she shouldn't have come. See, in this era, like you said the other day, that you didn't expect that tech guru guy to even accept an appointment from this kind of regime. Do you remember you said that? Okay, but see, when you are like that, Okonjo's got no choice. She doesn't have any choice. I'm telling you right now. Once you're in that game, if for example now they said they appoint me now as you have to play. You just have to, even if that smile is just right there between your lips, that's it. But you still have to bow. You still have to do it. So that's the thing. People shouldn't blame her. Right. She has no choice. She got to do that. Now to the Western world and
right.
Yeah, she has to do that. Now to the Western world, it's still the same old trick that they do. Okay. Now the only thing that I'm not in haste, but that is a concern that I wish probably to happen in our own generation is that maybe we will liberate ourselves from these people. Because let me tell you, you see how this rebel that they are now all of a sudden countering the people that took over.
Start hearing the boom.
Yeah.
Right, and we know where it's coming from.
It's the same thing that will happen if coups will happen in Nigeria too. People like Azari and everybody will be the one standing up. People like Azari that they've given go ahead with power and weapons. Okay, that they will attack whosoever.
Well, talking about
and once they cause
that is asking the court to remove Tinubu. Do you know that Asari mobilized his guys to that same appeal court yesterday right? Even though there was no sitting or anything, just an act of intimidation that if Nigerians say they are going to gather
see what I'm saying?
courts, he will bring his own people.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll show you. Look at them.
See, they are rented buses.
Air Force One, they have camped them in Abuja for the past 2 days, and they're going to be there until the Supreme Court give the judgment. That's the promise.
Sir, so that's what they do. So that's what they do. So I don't know now. So we are saying that we are hoping at this time around when countries in Africa already, like standing up against all these Western people or whatever, or France or whatever, and still among us, some people are still holding back. Like counter offensive.
That's right.
I mean, that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, well, right. I don't know. Like I said,
Air Force One. If the price is right, brothers will sell brothers. It's just what it is. Unfortunately, that it is also still happening now. Imagine brothers selling themselves to slavery. One is saying we are leaving the slavery. Another one is saying, listen, we can bring them back to the slavery. Just give us the weapon. And now there's going to be a civil war in Niger Republic, courtesy of two brothers. They say if two brothers fight to death, nobody strangers, they inherit their land. Well, it's an African proverb.
I mean, once they destabilize the whole country, now they'll have every avenue to, embezzle and siphon all the resources. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's what they will do.
What is business?
I mean, I don't know. And look at the Senate people now, the senators. I don't even know what do they do? What do they do in that parliament or whatever that building? What do they do there?
The highs have it. That's what they do. That's what they do there. The highs and the nays. And then you're like, okay, the highs have it. Is that a difficult job? Air Force One. Like you can be a speaker or Senate president. Just ask them. The highs have it. And they say, hey, the nays have it. Nay. And then you go and check your email with the token they sent to you for a happy holiday. Very easy job. Unfortunate people.
Oh, my God. But this is getting bad.
It's not getting. It has already gotten bad. Now it's just that delay.
Man, but what we're going to do? Say we go phone. We are not folding hands. We are still trying to educate people.
Ask me, what are we going to do? Listen, people can't fight if they don't understand why they want to fight. More and more people are beginning to kind of, awake. Sure, you get the number may not be so much yet. But you see this failure, is piling up. And I can promise you this, and I've said this before, if they continue in this trajectory, even if you love Nigeria, that you don't want Nigeria to fight any fight, you cannot save Nigeria from what is coming. Let them continue this trajectory. Air Force One, I'll show you, Boula. Trust me, it's going to happen. What people don't understand is that people are thinking, maybe we can just have one Mandela or one somebody that will just say, everybody come. Nigeria has gone past that stage right now. Okay? More divided.
No, see, everybody that is even asking for Mandela, we already have Mandela, but I don't listen to Mandela.
There is nothing like that anymore.
Sure, you know.
Yeah.
In the country today, we already have Mandela. People who are Mandela, who have Mandela, in nature. Okay? But they are not listening to them.
They will listen to them. Give it time. You see this trajectory, no country will go along this trajectory and survive. Air Force One. That's what I'm trying to tell you now, sir, that even if you don't want Nigeria to fight, or you don't want Nigeria to break, or you don't want Nigeria to be this or that, you cannot save Nigeria from becoming all those things you don't want it to be. If Nigeria continue this way, and these guys where they see so, they will show Nigerians that
they're going to continue.
They will continue.
Yeah, they're going to continue. Yeah, they will continue.
Give it time now. You see those ones that are still telling you that you are telling everybody to go and fight. Why don't you come and fight? Why don't you come back home? You will see some of them. They will be the first to start the fight. But a lot of them will never believe they can do what they can right now. But these guys will take all of us there. Our anger will kind of triple, quadruple, and all of that. Rage and all that. The hardship will be so much. And then guess what? The condescending attitude of these criminals will never cease. Okay? You'll be so offended. They don't share money again. These guys don't care about us. So. They don't buy another car. Oh, they don't buy another private jet. Oh, they don't, then one day, they will burn all of that down. And it's not because people want to. They will make them do it. Air Force One, I'm only rounding up with you because
thank you, sir.
I don't want to take more calls. Yes, sir. My time is up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate your time, your platform, and everything that you're doing. It is really impacting. I saw that in me today. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you as my roundup tonight. So thank you. Air Force One. That's some names. So thank you to everybody too, all of you. It's good to be back. I would have loved to probably spend more time, but my time is really, really up. So in these coming days, right, I'm going to need your help. And when I say help, I'm going to need your help for other people who need help, okay? And the way we do it on this platform is that every penny counts. And indeed, if you can, do you know that if you can change the world of one person, you've actually changed the world. You don't know. You may not be able to change the world like you probably envisage, but learn to be part of those who change the world of someone, right? And that's what we do. You can be part of that too. A lot of people who are vulnerable and they have been kind of thrown under the bus in this whole scheme of things. We have chosen humanity, and Yoruba Union is the name of our group, Karo Ojiri Support Initiative. You can support us. So next time I come on here, I'm going to bring a few people up, okay? I'm going to talk about what we do, and you're going to support us, as always. So thank you, at least for tonight. I'm going to see you some other time. So until then, if you are still here and you haven't really liked the broadcast, please do before you go, okay? And I will see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.